I've met someone with prosopagnosia. That's the stream. Bye!
See you later. Hope you all have an awesome Friday.
Happy Friday, everyone. Hello, Mortonart, congrats on being first. Hello, Psycho, congrats on being second. Happy Friday. Yeah, and thank you for the 85 stream streak.
What's gonna happen soon, though?
Soon, ... Soon it's gonna be 86. And it's gonna be 87. Potentially.
That is true.
Sometimes thing happens.
If you're gonna be here on Sunday, that soon will be very fast.
Exactly. Hello, Evie. How are
Happy
you all
Friday,
doing?
everyone. I am
peace with yourself. Every day is Friday.
Yes, but this day it felt like every day, or this week it felt like every day should have been Friday. This was such a long week. I am so happy it's Friday.
So I had a weird experience.
Oh, so it's the day for it today.
You go ahead with that. And then first of all, sorry for being slightly late to the stream. Tifa was busy making tea, and now she's making all the crispying sounds with a piece of paper because she isn't using her adorable penguin coaster.
But I am. I moved the coaster forward so that I can put my cup on it.
Underneath it.
That's exactly what I was going for.
There, now it feels slightly better. Opened 16 packs of Pokemon cards and exactly one card in the bunch was in German.
What? Oh, why?
Okay.
That is a weird error.
It's a bit late for you to get your welcome gift for being so good in the German citizenship test back then. But hey, congratulations, you finally got it. Which card
was it? Which Pokemon?
Please tell me it was a cool one that also has a German name. It was a common. But which one? Was it a Radfratz? Or a Kleinstein? Hatena Reverse Holo. I don't know what Hatena is in German.
That's the ghost one with the clown head.
Yes. Brimova. Why is it
actually?
Brimova.
No. Oh yeah, see? That is ghost, right? Or psychic. Yeah. Oh, psychic. But that's exactly the one I was talking about, regardless.
Can I find out what's it named after? Because, but like based on the name, like psychic, fairy, and clown head. It has this like sleeping cap thing on its head.
Yeah, it's like it reminds me of a clown head.
Kirby with the cool like grayish white hair and the things and the head and the.
Like you only see the mouth and it's a head with feet, and it has gray hair.
It's Kirby effectively. So I forgot to mute my phone.
Sorta. I want to say a Jigglypuff with a wig and a hat.
Could also be that. Evolves into Brimano and then into Zelembrem.
There was a really...
Those are the German names, it doesn't show the English ones right now.
These had a really freaky Pokedex entry if I recall correctly.
Think of more like a witch's hat. Yeah, I would agree that later on it looks like a witch's hat with a base evolution level.
It looks too happy to be a witch's hat.
Kind of like a party hat kind of thing. So I forgot that it's not furry until a furry. It's not a furry.
It's not a furry until it evolves.
That happens for a lot of people actually.
Yeah, it happens for a lot of Pokemon too.
Forgot that it's not fairy. Really? Does it start as just psychic?
Yeah.
I would have also sworn it starts as a fairy type. Yeah, but just because I have a website open and I read from it doesn't mean I read the rest.
Fair enough. I don't know why I thought it was ghost. Fairy makes a lot more sense.
Because back before fairy type existed, a lot of things that you would argue could have been fairies just were ghosts.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But make sure to keep it.
Yes. Put it into an honorary place. Together with a nice pair of lederhosen maybe. Remember to eat sauerkraut regularly. Actually, sauerkraut has a lot of salt, I think. Maybe don't do that.
Drink a beer while you read the description out loud.
Also, I think alcohol is not a great thing for EV, so alcohol-free beer. Which still tastes like beer, and I don't like it. So, you do whatever makes you feel connected with that German part of you. No. Yeah.
But yeah, you
my
met
weird
someone.
Experience. I learned today that a colleague of mine, well, remotely colleague, has prosopagnosia. We were in a meeting and we normally don't have our cameras on. Today was just one of those days where everybody decided to do it, so we turned them on. And today at work, I had my hair open. Usually I have it in a ponytail, like now, you know? And so when this guy, after the meeting was basically over, asked me, do you always have a ponytail? Do you always have your hair open? I'm like, not really. Usually I do like a ponytail kind of thing. Sometimes I have it on top of my head because I slept, like when I'm gonna just pull it down, but that's like not the point. Usually I don't have my hair open because like I don't love the way it feels. And then something was kind of weird, and then like we figured out that he didn't recognize me. I put my hair and he's like, oh yeah, you're Jack. I'm like, yeah. Do you have prosopagnosia? And he's like, how do you know that word? I knew it. It felt so weird. Not that he has that, but that something that I've only experienced in a video game came back at this point in my life, you know?
After Jack told me the story though, we looked it up. And apparently 1 in 30 people?
There was a study a couple of years ago that has shown that in the group, roughly 3% of the people they did tests with showed signs of prosopagnosia. Not necessarily the whole thing where they don't recognize people, but signs of it.
Like that is still quite a lot actually.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, like, we started talking because, you know, it's like, how do you know the word? I'm like, well, actually, I like video games, and there's one that I play.
It was like this little plot twist.
that was kind of a whole plot for twist, so I'm like kind of like exhilarated to talk to somebody that I now know in real life about this. And then it took like a little bit of a turn for the darker, because when he explained his experience with this to me, and that was, like, when we played that game back then, I did not really care because it was the plot device and it was an evil character. So like, you know, it's cool, that exists. Nice, I know this now. But I didn't think of it too much. But when he was like, yeah, like as a kid, I always thought I was stupid because I didn't recognize people. Like I couldn't remember them. So I started doubting myself, and that like for the longest time really like fucked up my like feelings of self-worth, because it had to be me, right? Like I had to be dumb or something. There couldn't be another reason. And like my friends and I, we would watch a movie and I couldn't follow the movie because I thought, why is there just one character doing everything? Because I didn't recognize there were different people necessarily.
Low budget movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like until I learned that I have this, that did such a number on me, and like I went through the emotions. Like I never thought of this. I never considered this. To me, it was just flavor of a month. Haha, bad guy cannot do faces. Weird. Like it never like connected with me on like a human level. And then I felt kind of like an ass. But he understood. And now I know better.
But especially when you're young, like when it's like you said, when playing the game, it's like that doesn't really, or that seems like it sucks, but I never thought how it actually is to like live with it.
Yeah, like for a moment, like, yeah, that must be really annoying. Click, okay, on to the next thing. But never like from a human experience, kind of.
Yeah, but especially if you are like young and you just believe like, oh, I'm just dumb.
Yeah, and
like I'm like not that intelligent as other people because
like, he also never brought that up because, you know, I already feel like I'm dumb. I don't want other people to know that I'm dumb. So like, he explained this to me like this. He just learned to be like really friendly with everybody because he realized at some point they knew him, but he didn't know them because he didn't recognize them necessarily.
Yeah, then
it's like, okay, that explains so much.
Then if you meet someone outside, you'll just go through the standard conversations you could have with everyone, I guess, just so that you don't say anything.
Yeah, until you get a clue that it's this person, like maybe it's a speech pattern or a clothing item or the hairstyle or glasses or something, you know?
Somehow I never considered the impact that actually has, but I guess that's the life of having a disability.
Yeah. Like after that I hung up, I immediately ran to Tifa. Oh my god, I made somebody with prosopagnosia. We need to talk about this. It was strange, but in a very nice way, I guess. I feel like I grew as a human today. Does that make sense? I feel like my horizon has been expanded. Yeah. Hello, Dark Lord. Happy Friday.
What he said.
Do you ever braid your hair into fun little pigtails? I have asked Tifa to do that for me in the past. I haven't done that in a long time because it takes so long and I'm so lazy.
No, that's true. We have also done it on stream a few times.
Yeah, but again, it takes a while and like I haven't really found a way to keep the flow going while we all sit here and wait for Tifa to try to, as quickly as possible, braid my hair.
I'm also not very good at it.
I'm all ears.
Things I learned from Zero Escape. 1. Prosopagnosia is a medical condition.
2. Funya-rinpa.
And 3. Old people hide everywhere.
They can. I would argue...
Just making sure.
X is gone, I made sure that thing is cleaned up. I want to argue that the Funya-rinpa experience is even more important than 1 and 3. Because Funya-rinpa is just eternal. Yeah.
It kinda is.
Did you say we're a bad person because we had prosopagnosia? No, I didn't.
Are you evil?
Oh my god!
Immediately, like, run to your boss and make sure they get
not
fired.
safe. No.
He knows where I live.
But I did tell him that, like, okay, I know exactly one character from a fictional medium. So I explained like how the plot device happens in the game. He got it, but you know, not everybody who has prosopagnosia is evil. I know one example who's a good person. There you go.
At least one.
Yes.
I can't talk about the rest. Like that, I still have doubts about that.
I'm pretty sure there are people with prosopagnosia in real life who are complete assholes, but not all of them. And it's the same for everything, I guess. Yeah. Just ask him if he's ever heard of Eisenheim. I didn't. That was a missed opportunity. Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah. But I don't have that specific thing. I absolutely know that feeling. Like, am I stupid? I feel like everybody goes through it at some point to some degree. Some people more, some less. But it sucks. Either way. Yeah. Like, especially like the longer this feeling like lingers, the worse it gets. Like, worst case, you get into this like mental death spiral of like everything kind of confirming you believing that about yourself, even if it's not true. I mean, I know I'm stupid, but I do that on purpose.
I think we all have those moments. Like, you have no clue how often I thought that today while I was trying to update some stupid pages for work and I just couldn't. I spent like 4 hours and I got like one small page ready that still looks like shit.
Just call it writer's block.
Yeah, well, let's call it that.
But yeah, I think that's also, work doesn't pay me for that.
I think that's also a bit different when it's like something you just get frustrated when you're doing it. Like, why can't I do this? Am I stupid? Compared to, I can't recognize the fucking people around me. Am I stupid?
No, like, how do you bring that up without... Oh, if you're already worried about people thinking less of you because you begin to feel less of yourself, how do you breach that subject? Like, how do you tell your friends, hey, I know we've been like together for like, I don't know, 10 years now, but I don't know what you look like. And as a person who isn't affected by this, it's such a weird concept to not recognize somebody. Like, the literal
they knew something,
Team
obviously.
Rocket, like, oh my god, who are you? You know?
Like, he picked you out because of your hair.
Yeah.
But then when that changed...
I became a new person. Kind of sweet in a way too. Like, such a small change, comparatively, makes such a big difference. Maybe there's a silver lining there somewhere. Kind of romantic. I feel like that's a common thread for kids with undiagnosed things. ADHD, OCD, autism, etc.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
It just never like occurred to me what the... I'm gonna go with mental side effect can do with you.
Yeah, definitely. Boss, I think our coworker is planning a death game on a replica of Titanic in the Nevada desert. I mean, I don't think he would do that, but if that were to happen, that would be hilarious in a way.
That would be
I would be
really
equipped to deal with this.
Interesting conversation with HR.
Yeah, how do you file that complaint? It's not like, hey, he made a... He said something that I took offense with. He said it's a joke, but it didn't feel like that to me. Or like any other thing like that versus, do you know what a death game is? Have you heard of killing games before? Are you familiar with Danganronpa or the Zero Escape series? No, you should play these games. Something like that. I think a death game falls under harassment. It definitely should, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely does.
Also, Dark Lord, thank you for the 5 stream streak.
I appreciate it.
Not looking at a king, you're looking at an ace. Is that a line from 999? Because it kind of feels that way.
No, that definitely wasn't in there.
There's a JoJo stand that gives you prosopagnosia. Really?
For real.
Okay. I've never read the manga. I've seen the anime and I've seen, I want to say, the first 2 seasons. And after that I stopped caring. JoJo
I feel like
is
the
not
2
for me.
seasons was already a bit much. I see the appeal in it, but it's also not something I need to like binge watch.
Spoiler free. Is it spoiler free? Yeah, kind of, because it has nothing to do with the plot. Spoiler free review for my experience with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So season 1 is basically Castlevania, but wild, and it's like I think it starts very slow, but it's okay. Then season 2 happens, and I think I stopped caring at exactly the point where main character Kun starts hanging out with the actual Nazi. I'm like, I don't know, I don't love that. So when it was over, I just dropped it. It's like, I can't connect with this on like a moral level. I don't know. I see why people enjoy it, but it's definitely not for me.
Tried reading the manga but can't follow the action scenes at all. Might be on me. No, that's not on you. It's the same in the anime, really. And I haven't even checked the manga.
I've tried it once, but I couldn't get into it. No. If I had a nickel for every evil character with prosopagnosia from a Japanese visual novel I've played, I'd have 2 nickels. Isn't a lot, but still weird it happened twice. Oh, there's one in an Ace Attorney game. Okay. Spoilers, Motonard. That's fine.
By the time we're there, we won't even remember.
Is there a reason for that, though? I mean, you say there's 2 that you know of, so that isn't exactly much.
Now you're going into spoilers. If you're going to ask if there's a reason for the character to have it. In an Ace Attorney game, of course there's going to be a reason for him to have it.
But that wasn't going to be my question.
Okay.
Can I ask my question now?
But you kind of already did. Is there a reason for this? Go for it.
Tifa is still slightly salty because earlier before the stream she asked me if I could bring her a snack and I didn't. I brought her an apple.
It's not a snack.
That is true, but she didn't want the apple. So in the end she had some cheese puff ball thingies by herself while I was under the shower. But she's still a bit salty, as you can tell. I hope that like subsides at some point.
You know the fun thing? If you
question though.
Okay.
Is prosopagnosia a common thing in villains in Japanese media? Because there are certain archetypes to character design.
Probably not.
Like, I want to say certain like design choices usually lead to a character being a certain way.
I don't get where you're trying to go.
For example, in a lot of the like slice of life anime and stuff I've watched with you, usually there ends up being one character in like a school setting with slightly darker skin than the rest of the group. And at least half the time that happens, there will be some part of at least one episode dedicated to this person being from the countryside and having an accent and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe in the same way, things like prosopagnosia are used as an archetype for certain characters.
I still don't get why you bring that in connection. What does that one character they go into have to do with that?
It's okay. I'm sure you understood. Let's just carry this on.
If you guys did, then please answer his question, but I didn't get it.
I mean, not being able to discern faces is a convenient plot device for a mystery. True. No. Let me try again.
Well, I'm glad you understood the question at least.
Let me try again. Maybe, I do not know that, but maybe certain conditions, like prosopagnosia, are used regularly for certain archetypes for characters. That's it. There's no deeper meaning to it.
I still don't get it. Why would that be a thing? And what does that have to do with a character they go into in the countryside?
Nothing, that was just an example of somebody looking a certain way, and therefore, at least half the time, it's because of that very particular thing. Like, we're all from this part of the country. We all have that kind of accent.
Yeah, because that's the unoriginal
Yeah,
story plot that works and everyone watches, including me. So of course
can
you
use
go with
any
it.
condition as a story seed if you're creative enough. Fair
I mean,
enough.
that too. Yeah.
See,
but
my-
that's absolutely not one.
My questions have been answered. Thank you very much. There you go. Also, apples are very tasty snacks.
I feel like apples are a weird thing. Like, if you just hand me an apple, then it's like, it's an apple. Like, I wouldn't really just eat it like that unless it's for like at breakfast for work. But other than that, I wouldn't consider it a tasty snack. But
So apples for your breakfast.
if you cut it into pieces and already get rid of like the inside thing, I forgot what the English, the core, and like present it to me in 6 pieces, then it's a snack.
6 or more, or specifically 6?
No, 6 or more is also okay. Like
So
small
they can be thinner slices.
bite-sized pieces.
Then it becomes a snack.
Then it becomes a snack. And then it's also suddenly much tastier to eat for some reason than instead of just like biting into it.
That could be a chemical thing, because
There's
maybe the air touching the slices makes it taste different to you. You'd be the first person I've ever seen that has that, but
Cut her apple into pieces.
This is her last resort.
I would eat it until it's tiny. Cut my apple, bitch, and don't bring it home.
and make it shiny.
It doesn't need to be shiny. I'm okay with
But that was for rhyme, I could think of.
with a matte color. What's matte?
I'm still on the rhyme part.
Not shiny.
This is why I can't do this stuff impromptu like Tifa, because my mind goes, what rhymes with that word? What has enough syllables? Or too many? You know?
Also, I
Yes.
have one last weird work story that I can share for today. Because this is the first time at work where I've been reading along in a conversation with our legal team and our abuse team about whether something is a fetish or racism.
Oh god.
I've shown you
Yeah.
I've shown you the site. For those who don't
It's
remember,
racism. Spoilers. It's
I work
racism.
at a web hosting company, and we come across wild websites. It ranges from anything.
Tifa, people have been on the internet. They know. You don't
mean-
need to explain the internet while you're doing a live stream on
Oh, I
the
wasn't
internet.
going into that. But today, we came across a website which was extremely weird. Basically, every page had pictures of... What's the English word? Neanderthalers?
Yes.
Neanderthals?
Cavemen.
Yeah, with black cavemen. And they all had stories with them. And the majority was like a skinny, muscular guy, never wild or never aggressive, just very wild. And sex for this man is not a lust, but a necessity. And you'd be lucky if you get hammered by them. And then all of these details that I'm not even going to go into on stream.
It got very graphic.
It got very
Depiction-wise.
graphic. And some of the lines
Yes, more than that.
were like compliments about stamina and
No,
I don't know what.
I-
But then the rest was kind of like insulting. And it had like prices per hour. That
Hey.
were kind of ridiculous because, like, oh, your first time will
No.
be 150 an hour,
No,
and
Tifa,
after that,
there were
500.
not compliments or criticisms, there were racism.
The majority was, but it was written in a way where you could also have a really weird...
No, it's racism.
Yeah, I mean the majority of the page that I read after, indeed, but there were also... You didn't even see the entire site! I let you read the worst one.
Oh, yeah, and I could tell you it's racism.
Yeah, and it's obviously racism. But there were parts where you read it and it's like, what kind of weird sexual novel am I reading here? And then all of the stories ended with like, oh, your first time is like $150 an hour. After $500 with some other stuff in it. And we were like, having this look through like, what the fuck are we reading?
Is this just a fetish or do we need to report this?
Yeah, it is. So we were like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with this is definitely racism, especially because of the pictures and stuff they added. So we sent it to our abuse team. And our abuse team was like, yeah, this does seem to be racism, but since we didn't get like an official complaint, we should like double check. So they involved our legal team to see if we could take the site offline without getting like sued and stuff. And then there was like this whole argument, like, is this a fetish? Or is this...
Legally, where does boner end and hate crime begin?
Because it definitely had a lot of sexual content in there. And I mean, like I said, we have the weirdest fetish websites there. So it's like, which side are we going to pick? Legally speaking, is this person just extremely weird? Or are we going for hurtful and should be taken offline?
Only the most lewd. Listen, what people, like how people live out their kinks in their own free time, as long as everybody consents, is none of my business. None whatsoever. But if you do things publicly, you're gonna be met with the opinion of the public. Like if you're into that kind of stuff in the comfort of your own home and you find people to enjoy this with you, go ahead. I don't care. But you put that online for the world to see. Therefore you will be judged by everybody who sees it.
In the end, because we couldn't fully agree, like some people, we kept more and more people kept being involved into the racism or fetish discussion. And in the end, we decided to just play it safe and go for racism. And the site has been taken offline at this point. But it's like, I have never, in the 11 years that I've worked there, had a discussion like this over a site. It's always like, okay, yeah, this is bad. We can't do that. Or, no, that is just a weird fetish. Ha ha ha, let's all look at the site. You know what I mean?
Congratulations?
I thought
I don't know what the appropriate reaction to that problem is.
I thought it was funny. It's a weird conversation to have.
Yes.
Like, you gotta admit.
Yeah, definitely. The things that get some people's juices flowing. Goddamn. Tifa is the arbiter of weirdness. Everyone is fun. The internet is a wild place, I can tell you that much.
It really is.
Also didn't realize the word for hedgehog is eagle. And eagle is Adler. And Adler is Erl.
Is that also how you spell equal in German?
I'm being confused. German does have a couple of words that will throw you for a loop if you think of them in the English homonym. That is true. False friends, we call them over here. Yeah.
False friends?
Yes.
Oh, it is eagle.
Back to the sliced apple conversation we were having, because before Tifa took us on that wild detour.
Oh.
I think sliced apples feel more like a snack for 2 reasons, says Mortenot. And I would love to go into this because I much prefer talking over apples at this point. First, you get direct access to the inside part of the apple, so you immediately taste the apple flavor instead of the less flavorful skin of the apple. Really? I prefer the skin actually.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever just eaten the peel of an apple?
Yes. Multiple times.
Only the peel?
Yes.
Like that's not
Multiple
that
times.
tasty. It can be a bit more bitter.
Yes, which is why I prefer eating the apple with the peel. So that it's like balanced. Second, having them pre-sliced makes it feel more than just eating an apple directly.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And no, I don't eat apples or hedgehogs for that matter.
Yes, you do. Don't deny it.
But I just prefer my apple into slices.
Tifa likes her hedgehogs the way she likes her apples, people.
Personally, I often eat apples at work because we get apples delivered. But having them pre-sliced is so much nicer.
I want to add a third thing, and that's usually in my experience, sliced apples are a thing you eat as a kid. But that's when you first experience being given a sliced apple.
Do you think it's nostalgia?
Yes, a little bit.
I guess that could also be.
No?
I never realized there was some.
There's psychological things to apples. Yeah.
To
and how you
an
consume
apple.
them. Mm-hmm. But funnily enough, now that I think about it, my favorite way to eat apple is peeled, funnily enough, and sliced.
Because, like a donut.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and you take out the core, of course.
Yeah.
Because I remember as a kid going over to my friend's house, and his mother, a couple times when I came over, made apple pancakes. And they were delicious.
Ooh, that is quite nice.
Basically just a big fluffy pancake with those apple rings put into it. And I have never been able to recapture the deliciousness of how she made them. I don't know what she did.
I do like apple pancakes, but I prefer if you rasp an apple into the dough instead of the slices in it.
She had them in there. They were not thinly sliced. They were thicker slices, but they were cooked to the point where the apple was just cooked. It hadn't turned into mush and it wasn't still crisp. It was perfectly cooked on the spot.
Then why have we never tried that?
Because I have before I met you and I always messed it up and it's not as good, and then I just get mad at myself because I can't have a thing I had as a kid. To this day I don't know how she nailed that. It was delicious. Such a simple but beautiful dish. Maybe one day I get it. You don't eat apple rabbits? The first time I learned about apple rabbits was during Higurashi.
And we never made them too. For that I'm too lazy. I just want them into slices. Into slices is good.
My number one reason why I just eat the apple with the peel, like the way it comes when you get it off of the tree, is because I'm lazy. If I peel it, I need utensils for that. I need a peeler or a knife. If I cut into slices, I will need at least a knife. You know?
Peeling them is a bit annoying.
And I need to wash those things. And if I just take the apple, wash the apple, eat it, and throw the core away, problem solved.
Any other fruit that's better in slices? Oh! I peeled a grape for you not too long ago.
Yeah, yes she did.
We completely forgot. It was a couple of weeks ago, I think it was already. We had a talk on stream about peeling grapes. And if you peel the grapes, they are kind of nicer, actually. They lose the crisp bite you have from the skin, but flavor-wise they are softer. Does that make sense? Anyway, I peeled a grape for Jack the other day.
Yes, she did.
And you said it was better.
No.
Yes, you did. You said you saw the thing and it tasted better.
So, here's the thing. The peel, does it sound appealing to you, Jack? No, it doesn't. It sounds like work, and I hate work. If you go through the effort, the insane efforts of peeling she peeled one grape. She usually doesn't do it. Don't worry, she doesn't peel every grape she eats.
I used to as a kid when I got grapes.
That explains so much about you. So much. Anyway, it really does though. So here's the thing. You should try it out. The next time you have a grape, try it out yourself. Then you'll believe me. The peel has its own flavor compared to the rest of the fruit. So it does taste different. My problem is, when I eat grapes, I expect to put them in my mouth, bite on them, and then there is
the crunch.
A little bit of a crunch, not because of seeds. I hate that stuff in
the seeds are not nice.
In grapes, but the crunch of the skin of the fruit breaking, like it bursts, you know, it bursts open, and then you have the flavor of grape in your mouth. And without that, the closest I can describe it is, as a kid, I've seen The Lion King in cinemas. And when Simba goes to live with Timon and Pumbaa, there's that sequence where they eat
the bugs.
Maggots and stuff. And like they take one and they just put it in their mouth and go,
crunchy on the outside.
No, there's like juices coming out of her mouth, I think, if I recall this correctly. And that's kind of what it felt like, because that didn't feel like I was eating a grape. It was wet and slimy and squishy and soft because it didn't have any structural integrity. So no, the taste, the flavor was better, everything else, no.
Yeah, but the flavor was better.
But the texture is so bad for me, it makes me want to puke.
But the flavor was better.
But I can't eat just for flavor. Texture is a thing. My mouth exists as a physical entity.
As long as something doesn't turn like dusty, I don't really mind.
I don't even mind dusty usually. That's how messed up I am.
I find dusty weird, especially if you don't expect it.
Yeah, it's a hazard because you might choke, but if you know what's happening. Jack, do you eat banana with a peel? No. Also, don't eat oranges with a peel. In things where the peel is edible, usually I prefer to eat it with a peel, and I don't have a single example where that is not the case.
Oh, so when you buy grapes next time, or when you get the chance to eat a grape, peel it. And I used to do it like this, that I would collect all the peels first, and then I would eat the peels.
You would eel?
I would eat the peels first. Those were like a bit bitter and technically not really nice, but it also felt weird to just throw them away, so I ate them. And then you have the unpeeled grapes, and those are really
Which
nice.
is like this wet, cold, slobbery mess, and it's like, no,
It's soft.
Mm-mm.
It's soft, and I like it.
No.
But if you keep peeling them, it's a lot of work. I acknowledge that. I don't do it anymore either, just for shits and giggles.
Why do I hear this? Can you read Motternard's second to last line? Because I hear it in your voice.
I need to feel the grape's last moments ending.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like I became like a bird or some sort of animal that eats like grub, and it just. Yeah.
Groundhog, how you doing? Not
Happy
sure what
Friday.
I've walked into.
How are you doing?
That is a good question, but I strongly agree about texture. I have some strong texture aversions. I mean,
Thank you for understanding. Yeah. Good old dusty grape. Usually grapes aren't dusty, but here's the thing. A while ago, when I was going through skin issues, I was trying to go through every single thing I do. How I sleep, what I sleep on, do I get enough vitamins, all this stuff. And I realized maybe I'm lacking protein. So I ordered protein powder. And I took some, little bit, not huge amounts, little bit every day. And I realized my skin was starting to look better. Still not perfect, but I'm happier with it. So I have that stuff every now and then. But if you don't mix the stuff properly,
you get dust clumps in it.
Yeah, you can have like these little like clots of like...
It's like with flour and cake mix when you...
undissolved like powder in there. And like if it's in my mouth, I'm not gonna spit it out because like stuff's expensive, I'll eat it. But do I hate it? No. Do I love it? No. But can I consume it? Yeah. Like I wouldn't spoon it out of a bag or something like that, but unless I have to.
Psycho, we have a shaker bottle. He just doesn't use it.
It's so annoying. It is that thing. It's
a good
like
workout for your arm too.
I don't need extra workouts. I go to the gym for that.
Yeah, you didn't before. I don't know. I also did that when I was little. Heck yeah. Everyone needs to at least try one peeled grape.
Nah.
Texture is the main reason I can't eat fish, tofu, or eggplant.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, actually, I would say with tofu, if you want to change it, if you do like the flavor and you want to change the texture, freeze it.
Freeze it.
And
that
then
completely changes the texture.
If you freeze it like overnight, so that it's like fully frozen, and then unfreeze it, it's completely different, like Jack already said.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe that when I was reading about that first, because like, how does freezing tofu make it actually become better? It does. It's so
It makes all the difference.
Yeah. I mean, if you're still at the point where you would give it a chance, because maybe you like me, like the idea of like eating fish, I mean, now not anymore, but even back then, like, no, I couldn't do it.
Doesn't work with like silk tofu though.
No.
That I kind of agree. Silk tofu has like this glibberish, like that weird mushroom.
I couldn't eat that pure by itself, no.
I do like it, but it is kind of odd.
Nah. Hand blender or normal blender? But then I need to clean the blender.
You're not supposed to.
That's my whole problem. I found a way to prepare those powder things. You just put them in liquid and then you mix them and you let it stand for a bit so it can like absorb the liquid. And then you mix it again. That's the lazy way of doing it, with just a mug and a spoon. A blender would be much faster and much easier. But I need to clean the blender and I hate cleaning up. It's a me problem.
Can't just put dish soap into the mixer.
But then I need to dry the mixer afterwards and put it away. Yes, valid point. I will try it out for your sake, because you're all like, you have good points. I will try to overcome
Use the damn
them
shaker bottle we have.
Nah, I hate that thing. Not if I don't have to. No, Dark, I'm not supposed to blend your hand. Fair point.
I have like 2 tofu recipes I need to make for Groundhog at some point with frozen tofu. It really is a miracle of science. Yes, I never believed, like Jack also said, that makes such a big difference. But it changes everything.
Yeah, I have no idea how I feel about the flavor, because the texture makes me nauseous. You can also try blending some with chocolate. That way it turns into like... It's an acquired taste.
Don't.
It's not horrible, but you will probably want something to mask the tofu flavor. I don't hate it.
It's an acquired taste. You want something to mask the flavor, and then you recommend it to someone who wants to like start enjoying it. That is not something you recommend for people to try out tofu, because they will never have it again.
If you like the flavor of it, it is a good base for like pastes.
Yeah, but it doesn't help you with the texture.
The texture is completely gone because you blended it. It's become a fine paste, depending on your blender, of course.
I don't recommend it.
That eliminates the texture portion of it.
It's not bad. Jack was once, I can make mousse with tofu.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
He made it and it was like, this is like the best thing ever. And it was not.
I don't hate it.
Make mousse with normal chocolate.
I'll make it for me and then I'll eat it all myself. Oh no, I accidentally made this nice thing that Tifa hates. Oh no, I need to eat the whole thing. Yes.
Yeah, if you want to eat that, go ahead.
That's a real depiction of me.
I'm not stopping you.
Me eating tofu chocolate mousse with my hand out of a... Yeah, I don't do it. I use a spoon.
Tofu chocolate mousse is not a good replacement for mousse.
No, that's true. It's not as good as the real thing.
But then again, that's with a lot of like meat replacements. You should never look at it and go like, oh, this is gonna be like eating chicken.
Yeah,
because then you kind of already ruin it.
Most of them don't know that. No.
But chocolate tofu mousse, I wouldn't recommend it. Especially not if you're like new to tofu.
Yeah.
We can go to the Asian store tomorrow.
Oh my god, Jack, at some point it's you from. Yes, I agree. I am at a point in my life where I realize I'm the problem sometimes. Usually it's Tifa, but sometimes it's me. Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Reaction is coming out. Sometimes.
I really hope, like I am praying that over the course of the next 6 months, my accent will change back. I used to have I'm not gonna say nice, but I kind of had a better accent in English than I have now, because I returned to the Dutch English accent, which is really not nice. Okay, fine, I'll take a break.
The first time I spoke to Tifa over the phone, when I got to know her, she talked exactly like Bayonetta. Not the let's dance boys part, but the accent was exactly the same. It was that British. And then she lost it over time.
Yes, I love British accents, but I'm now... It kind of adapted when I was living in the UK.
Can we hear your best Dutch accent?
You're already listening to it. But you kind of start adapting to the accents around you, usually if you live somewhere. But now, for the next 6 months, I'll be working with a lot of British people because my project involves a UK branch. So I'm really hoping all of this time we spend in meetings, I'll get back to British accents.
Jack, give us your best Dutch and British. I can't do a Dutch accent. I can do a Dutch accent in German. I can't do a Dutch accent in English.
Your Dutch is...
That means nothing. Like, that's not how my brain works.
That is true.
Those are two completely unrelated things to my mouth.
I also can't do accents.
I can't do Dutch. I can try British, and I'll give you the line that Psycho wrote because it's beautiful. But, oi, mate, you got a license for that accent. That felt offensive.
You bloody wanker.
Do you see the hand like? Why is there always something with the hands like going somewhere?
You gotta move with it.
I still wish I could do a better Joycey accent. That was Scottish, Jack.
Yeah, that works.
Ah, Dark Lord said British, not English. See? Scotland is part of Great Britain. There. Technically, fission mailed. There. Successfully dodged that problem. It almost sounded Irish. It's all... Being put on the spot, having to do it, it all blends into the same thing, like, out of my mouth. Like, I can't do it. That's the best you're gonna get from me today.
Sometimes I want to do an accent and then it all comes out Australian or something. Or I'm not even sure where.
Nein, the only accent I can do is a German one. And even that is hard sometimes. I just have to pretend the doctor is in the house and then I talk like this. And then it hurts my mouth. I'm from New Jersey and I don't have a Joycey. Okay, wait. I'm from New Jersey and I don't have a Joycey accent.
See the hand again.
I need it. It's a crutch, but I need it.
Like it helps you channel the inner accents.
The cliche Joycey. I don't know where it comes from.
Like you're charging it up.
Yeah. Thought you were from Pennsylvania since you're a girl. Talking about accents, you know who probably doesn't have one? Shion. We should talk about that. Hey Tifa, what happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2 Watanagashi episode? I forgot.
Before I go into that, most of us don't talk like that. The shitty thing is, all of the people from New Jersey that I know and have heard speak do talk like that, but it's all the only people I know from there are like reality TV
Jersey
people.
Shore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So they all kind of do. So it's like hard to then hear like the difference.
In the same way, most people, if they think of a German accent because of movies and television and stuff, are used to the
Bavarian.
Yes. This is how we talk in Germany. I am a scientist and I totally don't do evil experiments here. You know?
To be fair though, in English, the majority of my colleagues talk like that in English.
Yeah, but not everybody does.
That no, but...
Only one customer was from Jersey Shore, was even from where? They were from New York. How dare they?
I didn't even watch Jersey Shore, but it has very stereotypical...
It's the Guidos, I think. Is the term.
Is that what you call them?
At least that's what the term was back then. I don't know if it evolved.
And they have like the Jersey Shore label.
Makes me want to do a fist pump. Yeah, no, that's train. That's a fist pump.
Oh, sorry.
Hey Tifa, what happened the last time we played Higurashi When They Cry Chapter 2 Watanagashi episode again? I forgot, I'm afraid. I think 4.
So, the last time after we played Higurashi When They Try episode...
After? When? After we played, we went to bed.
Yeah, true. So, one of the last times we had
one of the last times.
Yeah, because I also
you're gonna
have
get
to-
you're gonna
I
get
also-
a random recap now.
No,
You just
no,
have to
no.
figure
I
out
also have
whether
to
it's actually
involve-
anything to do with what happened last.
I also have to involve a bit from the stream before
Okay.
that too.
Okay, go on.
We had a curry standoff, which went at school, which went really well. But unfortunately, we, as in main character Kun, were
Keiichi Maebara.
not able to eat curry for lunch. So we went hungry, we were starving, and obviously, I'm having a brain fart.
Because we were so nice, what little food was left was given to all the other students. So Keiichi was actually like dying from hunger.
They
because
just ate it.
he's a growing 15-year-old boy, so Keiichi somehow dragged himself home.
What's the green-haired girl called
About
again?
to die
Hey,
from actual starvation. When suddenly, ding dong!
I actually knew what happened. I
Yeah.
just couldn't think of the name of Mion. Oh, Mion.
Shion.
Mion has been talking to Shion about what has happened at school. So then Shion was like, oh no, this poor Keiichi-kun is starving at home. I'm gonna cycle all the way to this other city with a bento because I need to work, which is all the way in the other direction too, and feed this poor boy.
Yes.
So obviously we were super happy as a teenage boy that Shion, not Mion,
So this
brought us food.
attractive, adorable, nice girl goes all the way cycling around Japan basically to bring me food. I am in love as Keiichi Maebara right now. Like, if that happened to me when I was 15-year-old, I would have married her on the spot, or at least offered to.
Basically. Then we, of course, afterwards, food was super tasty, yay, yum, all happy. We wanted to return the bento box that the food came in. So we cleaned it up, we filled some sweets in it as a thank you
For Shion,
for Shion, and we brought it to school, gave it to Mion, and was like, oh, Shion was so nice to give me food because we're still going along with hey, they're two people, even though Keiichi-kun believes they're separate people. And we
no,
were,
he thinks they're the same person. Like he keeps
he
flip-flopping
thinks they're
on
the
that.
same people, yeah, sorry.
Still kind of weird.
So we had that moment, we gave the bento box away, and then after school we were like, hey,
No, Mion, I think
gonna
this is
visit.
important. Mion looked into the box because she was moving it and realized there was something in there and she found the candy. And then Keiichi was like, that's for Shion! And then Mion was like, okay, sorry. Carry on.
So afterwards, we knew Shion was working after school. We were like, you know what? I'm gonna visit her.
Yeah,
So
because
we
I'm
went-
15-year-old and this girl came all the way here to make me delicious food because she had
Obviously.
heard that I was starving. Clearly, I should go say thank you in person. So let's go to Okinomiya.
So we went there and we started to get all excited. Our hearts went doki doki when we were thinking of Shion working in the maid cafe. and-
Beginning to dissociate because what do you do when all your blood goes down to your loins? You just walk down the street, and then Keiichi went full just giddiness and kicked the bike. He doesn't know why. He just
He was
did.
so happy he kicked the bike. Wait, objection! You went there for the seal. For the seal.
Oh, true.
Oh, true, we lost the
our
key.
keys. And the key has the cute seal thing on it. And
True.
we learned that it's at Angel Mord. Exactly. Also, Groundhog, thank you very much for the reason.
Thank you. Forgot about that. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we went for the key.
And because we're in love.
And because we're in
Kinda.
love. And like Jacoby said, on the way there we were so happy. We kicked some bikes, which of course fell and turned out to be the bikes of some delinquents who
Yes.
then
Went full
quite
Joycey on
obviously
us.
wanted to start beating us up because we damaged their property.
Yeah, we have a problem here.
Was it the right way to go for it? No. But was it Keiichi who was
Caused
in
all of
the
this?
wrong and
Yes.
caused all of this? Yes.
I've never been so horny that I kicked a bike. I'm happy to admit this on the internet.
Gotta do something
Yeah.
with all those hormones.
I've done many dumb things in my life for various reasons in different situations. I've never done that.
basically.
Good for me, I guess.
So while we were in quite a pinch and about to get beaten up by these thugs, no one really helped us.
Until suddenly
Shion showed up and basically started threatening those punks themselves. And while Shion was there, all of a sudden everyone from the area started like circling around all of us and threatened the thugs with their presence.
Shion stared them down, like you see in a macho 90s action movie where the martial arts main character beats the bad guy just by looking at him in a manly way. Like, she stared them down. And like her aura just like made other people from the area appear, like shaping a circle around us, threatening the three delinquents that were hollering and wanting to attack. Like, she basically did this like Queen Bee thing where suddenly like all the drones showed up and like, yeah.
That absolutely
Wild.
worked. So obviously they did not beat us up, but they were still being held into place. But fortunately in the meantime the police came over, Ooishi-san stepped out, we met him for the first time because we obviously had no clue who he was. He took the thugs into custody, had a kind of an awkward conversation with Shion, where Shion was very like, hostile towards him.
Thank you for doing a service to the public, detective son. He's like...
in a very sarcastic, mean sort of way.
Yes, I'm happy to serve and protect. Ha 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 ha. Like it was... like there's history between these two that we don't know about.
So after everyone is left and went their way, we're obviously thanking Shion, and that's where we currently are. About to head to the cafe,
Almost. We, if I remember correctly, we are now at the cafe because after all of this and Keiichi still wanting to get his keys back and being like all shaken up, she was like, hey, how about a drink on me at the restaurant cafe thing so that you can like calm down and stuff. And so we went there.
I don't think we already arrived, but I don't...
Yes, we have.
Okay,
I
didn't say anything. Well, that's where we left. Also, Groundhog, thanks a lot for hanging.
Yes.
See you soon, hopefully.
All the best.
Go take care.
Please do.
You Hinamid, your last sour. But then obviously in a super serious...
Correction.
Gonna kill you too.
Correction. You Hinamid, your last sour. But I see it, I see it. I didn't set up the game. Let me fix that.
I don't know why, but when you said that and you got to the he asked for pickles, I have a scene from the...
He asked for pickles? Yes.
I got a scene from The Good Doctor in my head.
Which one?
That could be a spoiler. We saw it this week with the pickle bar.
Oh yeah, that's a spoiler. Yeah, we started watching The Good Doctor for some reason. I don't like how the main character with autism is portrayed, like how they portray autism, because I've met a few people who are autistic or have autism. I don't know what the right verbiage is here. I don't think, I remember them not acting like this, and I want to say most people don't. So
you have so many different forms. Like, I know people who are worse than Sean.
Okay.
The kids of an old colleague are... I don't know if you can say pretty far up the spectrum.
It's a spectrum.
But Sean is like one of the more extremer cases, because you also have plenty of people with autism who don't function like the main character and are... I'm gonna go with... No, normal is the wrong word.
Neurotypical, I believe, is the term to use.
Blend in more in society, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's like such a
Savants
broad
are also
thing.
a thing, yeah, that is true. But one thing to say about the show, all the other characters are surprisingly likable. Like, I watch the show for everybody other than the main character.
Oh, I think the main character is also kind of likable in a way. He has moments, and other moments you're like, no.
Tifa, are you ready?
But The Good Doctor, if you like a sort of like hospital show, I am really enjoying it.
Every episode will probably make you cry because we're specifically designed that way. It's like Disney.
Yeah,
but
we've been crying a lot. We're now in season 3, I think.
Something like that.
There's like 7 in total, so we still have some to go.
Are you ready for Higurashi?
I am ready for Higurashi.
Bam! Can we have a game? Yes, we can. Continue. We're in chapter 4. And we are, in fact, in a restaurant.
Oh yeah, we did.
Called it. After cooling off a bit inside the restaurant, little by little, I realized I was still on edge. There were spots here and there on my body that hurt, probably because I had been so stiff with nervousness. And that Shion, who had changed into her uniform, brought over 2 glasses of iced coffee.
Here you go, iced coffee, on the house.
2 glasses? She gonna drink with us in that outfit?
Probably. Just bring this coupon with you to the register and it will be no charge.
My patheticness really knew no bounds. But since she went through the trouble, I might as well take her up on the offer. Even though it had started out as such a lovely day, I had to get carried away and do that stupid thing. I had completely ruined it. But really, you really saved my hide there. I've really come to see you as reliable.
That's such a weird thing to say.
Is that a normal thing to say in Japan? Because that sounds like a rather cutting insult, you know? Like,
not even that, but which teenager says to another, I have come to see you as reliable?
Somebody with the soul of a poet, Tifa. You need to remember this. The people who become characters, especially main characters in visual novels, have very poetic souls.
As if only I knew what kind of doctor he was. A good one.
That too.
I think it's well-meaning but awkward. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but like no one.
There is something lost in translation. Yeah, probably.
I want to say yes, and it might sound better in Japanese, but even in Japanese it can be like super dramatic. And in an anime, you think, oh, this sounds normal. You know, this sounds really cool and dramatic and like awesome. And then you say it out loud, and it's like, this is so cringe.
But I think that's a cultural thing. I remember a while ago watching this like TikTok video where like this guy was sitting in his car teaching you Japanese as a viewer, and it was like 5 different ways of saying "shut the fuck up" to somebody in Japanese. And like he started with like the kind please stop talking, stuff like this. But already by the second one, which I think he translated as something like please stop talking, he's like, this is as far as you would go in a public setting. Like there's still 3 steps further, but they will probably end up in you having a fist fight. So I think really there is something lost in translation, and like to a Japanese person, this sounds like completely unnoticeable. Like,
yeah.
Not noteworthy, I should say.
Yeah, I guess, but still, if I now read it, it doesn't. I want you to meet Takumi from Chaos Head, then repeat that Soul of a Poet line.
One day, potentially.
Probably, we'll get to that.
You don't sing the words to snow halation in public? I don't even know what it is, so no.
Even I was scared, but Keiichi was in trouble, so I had to be brave and do my best.
Nah, you weren't brave. You went full alternative persona and like shut that shit down. That is not being brave.
That is definitely brave.
Okay, sorry. Is it a brave thing to step in with a moment like this? Yes. Is the way she did it the way everybody else would act when they're trying to put on a brave face? Where just their presence summons people and commands them without words to form a circle and do this.
But don't forget, she's a big member in the community. There's a difference if a nobody stands up and is in danger, and someone the public knows stands up and is in danger.
Fair enough. Being on the nobody spectrum myself, I've never experienced the other side. So that's my thinking. While a little embarrassed by what she just said, Shion made a show of folding her arms boldly. Shion, really, thank you. I was thanking Shion. But I really wanted to thank Mion. Mion, really, thank you.
Now, cheer up a little. If you feel indebted, then when you have the chance, you should help somebody in need.
Pay it forward.
Like, for example, if I'm ever in trouble. Please come and save me. You save me, senpai?
So what's gonna happen to her by the end of this chapter?
Something that we can't...
And most importantly, why did Keiichi not remember it in chapter 1?
I'm not going into that discussion with you again.
Yeah, of course. It's a promise.
You absolutely have to. Something is going to happen to Shion. We can't keep up with our promise of saving her, and we're gonna have some crisis about how she's dead. It's
gonna be completely messed up. Like, she's gonna be the character in that like weird torture dungeon from like the intro shot.
She's the one performing it.
No, she's gonna be like dismembered in front of Keiichi. And he can do nothing to say. It's gonna be completely messed up, isn't it?
That could also be. I do wonder if we're gonna see that.
What rating does this game have? No, I'm not gonna check now. Taking advantage of my words, she seemed happy about my promise.
So, if I'm ever in trouble, Kei-chan will come and save me. I hope trouble comes soon. You finally smiled.
She said as she smiled herself, poking me in the cheek.
A downtrodden Kei-chan is as good as an imposter. Come on, smile, smile.
That tickles! Stop! Thanks to Shion's meddling, I finally cheered up a little. All the muscles in my body that had stiffened because of the incident finally began to relax a little. And something else began to... Anyway. The difficulty is easier, I think. Yeah. M for mature? Really? Okay, then I guess a description of dismemberment could happen. As it did in the first chapter.
Yeah, if anything, it's just a bit of a description, yeah.
Yeah, no graphics.
When you're in a better mood, don't you get a little hungry? I'm kind of hungry, so I want to eat some pancakes or something.
I would love pancakes.
Joke's on you, I'm always hungry. Do you want some too, Kei-chan?
I wanted to show a little restraint, but restraint really wasn't my thing.
Didn't her shift just start though?
That's why I replied without any. They're good, right? I'm pretty picky when it comes to pancakes.
Don't worry, our pancakes have a pretty good reputation.
Shion ordered some pancakes from a nearby waitress. An employee ordering from another employee seems kind of weird. Hey, speaking of that, weren't you in the middle of a shift? You've just been slacking off while talking to me.
I told my uncle that you saved me when I was surrounded by hoodlums, so he's rewarding you. So I have the manager's permission. Oh, smart. Turning it around.
Can you be my reward? Felt a little dirty doing that.
In before the uncle leads us to the special room.
Oh my god, it's the uncle. It's that kind of game in the end. Uh-huh, yeah. That's exactly the opposite of what happened. Is that alright?
It's perfectly fine.
By the time the pancakes arrived, we had entered into a relaxed conversation. As the two of us ate pancakes, we live in the mood with some chit-chat. About what was on TV, celebrities, that kind of thing. Hobbies, food. Really nothing more than idle chit-chat. Talking together like this, I once again became conscious of Shion being a girl. Really, you keep forgetting that when she's sitting there dressed in that outfit, which is specifically made to recognize her as a girl first and foremost. Hey now, that's funny talk, Keiichi Maebara. Shion and Mion are the same person. If there was anything different between them, it was only whether or not Mion admitted she was Mion. Given that, how come our conversation was this different?
How could you not have sung the Hey Now?
Because I focus on my lines.
But even then, it's like, hey now, Kei-chan, you don't.
No, do it be normal.
Kei-chan, you don't think of my sister as a girl, do you?
Can't you read my mind? That's not true.
I think that was the close eyes up here hint.
Oh, yeah. You don't think of... That's not true. If she were a guy, I'd punch the living daylights out of her.
Oh, as a reward, can you do the elbow thing?
Yeah. I bet you can't touch your elbows together. That's a trick, by the way. Just so you know, if you... I learned this just a few months ago when she showed me a video. It was like, have you done this yourself in like school? And then it's a video of a guy, like a girl actually explaining, like, when a guy asks you, hey, put your elbows together, it's not because like, oh, you put your elbows together, it's because it's like,
oh, you can't put
squishes
your
your boobs together. And I'm like, oh, that's why guys in school told girls to do that. Like,
I never knew.
I've only learned that recently. I went 35 years without that knowledge.
The more you know. I think the reason you guys get along so well is because you have that kind of platonic relationship. That's a pretty rare and enviable thing to have, don't you think?
I don't get what you're saying. But it really would be a waste to treat her like a girl. What the fuck did you just say, Keiichi Maebara?
Mion and Keiichi have a very different relationship, so it makes sense. Hey, Kei-chan, that's sexist!
Sexism. Hearing the word sexist was cause for introspection. What was I prejudiced against Mion and Shion for? Mion was Mion. She was the best friend a guy could have, no reservations, and head and shoulders above me when it came to club activities. If I'd met her 5 years earlier, my life would have probably been a lot more fun. Of this I had no doubt. And what about Shion? She was Mion's little sister, and it hadn't even been 3 days since we met. Her relationship was much more distant, as the only thread we had in common was that I knew her sister. And for Shion it was the same. I was somebody she met 3 days ago only because I was a friend of her sister's. No, you met her 3 days ago because your dad likes looking at 16-year-old girls in weird, revealing outfits.
Yeah, but they never would have started like talking if it wasn't for the relationship she had with Mion.
Oh, okay.
That's what it
yeah,
means.
Fair enough. Yeah,
like
okay.
If she wasn't her sister, they never would have.
Yeah, fair. I was focused on a different part of the story. The difference between Mion and Shion? Friendliness? Familiarity?
The outfit?
Playing around with those unclear thoughts for a while, I had stopped listening to Shion.
Hypothetically, okay? Are you listening?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm listening.
This is just a hypothetical question, okay? Both me and my sister are in trouble, okay?
Oh my god,
would you rather?
This is would you still love me if I was a worm?
No, this is the would you rather. We're dangling off the side of a cliff. Oh, I played this so often back in school.
What? Whoa, we need to talk about this. What? You just randomly went to people like, hey, if me and this person were falling to our deaths and you could only save one, who would it be?
Yeah. Not with random people though, but with like classmates.
Were you trying to start fights or like to really hurt yourself emotionally if you didn't get the answer?
It's to make the other jealous that your friend picks you instead of them.
Oh, so you were you were a bit of a bully yourself then?
You never played Would You Rather?
No.
That escalated into death and destruction.
No.
I find that hard to believe.
I have not. Have I thought about this? Yes. Have I actually done this with other people? No, because I was always afraid they would pick the other person. That's the truth.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm the problem, it's me.
Yeah, basically. Hey, don't you all feel like we're having a beautiful moment here with all of us being friends? So let me tell you, let me ask you, which one of us do you prefer? If you could kill one of us, accidentally let's say, which one would you choose? Who would you mourn less?
Yeah, it's like you and
No, I understand the concept. I'm just trying to point out that it's fucked up.
Or like stuck in quicksand. I still remember that one. And you're slowly sinking.
Of course you would ask
You
about
get to
quicksand.
save one. But by the time you run back for help, the other would have already died. And you need to make a choice now.
Okay, I think I know the answer. I think I can guess the answer already, but how old were you back then?
Like 10, 11?
I was, yeah, I figured it would be that age. Why would you give people that, like, trauma? Hello, 9-year-old friend of mine, whose worst problem is that you didn't get the sandwich you like the most from your mom in your lunchbox this morning? Think for a moment. Do you know what death is? Okay, good. Oh, you don't need to freak out. Actually, just a little. So if the two of us were dying and you could save only one of your so-called best,
Yeah, but
that's
you can't,
fucked up.
You can't just go, oh, if two of us two are dying, who would you pick? Like, you have to put a story around it.
But it's the
like
same
that's
thing.
part of the fun.
Where
And the more
is
dramatic,
the fun?
like
No.
the better.
No.
You can do some warm-ups about would you rather piss in a bucket on the public playground school, or would you rather sniff bird shit?
It's a bit late, but
It's like, you can do some innocent warm-ups. But then you gotta like...
none of what you said, and I want to say the last 5 minutes has been innocent. Is it just me? Am I the weird one? That's fucked up.
I don't see the problem.
Do you still have, like, relationships of any kind with the people that you asked these questions? Or are they all in, like, intensive psychological care now?
No, I still have them in contact. You even know them.
But what's his answer, though? Yeah, I mean, like...
No, I think...
We will
Dark
never learn
Lord
this, no.
means Keiichi.
That's super subtle, and I love that, but... Oh my god.
That banner needs a raise.
Yes. Yes, it does. There's only one correct answer to this question.
I don't believe none of you never played Would You
Option
Rather.
C, kick them both. Would you rather? Yes, but not would you rather which one of your friends get to die. No. Mm-mm.
I don't believe it.
The reason I'm so, like, hung up on this is, I remember a long time ago, I forgot what we were playing back then. We were talking about bullying, and I told the story of how I had been bullied, and I was a bully for some time in my school life before I realized, no, this is shit, just don't be like that. But you were a bully too. Like, that question is fucked up.
That has nothing to do with bullying.
Putting somebody
Like, you all
in
take
that
turns.
situation
Yeah, you all take turns.
instead of treating the person right next to you like shit. This is you going, oh, you third person, come over here. Would you help me nail it into this person that she is worth less than me? Like, do you understand what I mean? Do you understand what I mean?
The answer is greed. No. And
It's not bullying, that's normal teenager shit.
Exactly.
Having not done this or being involved in this in any kind, like as a 35-year-old person, I feel different about that than I probably would have if I had been there when I was 10, like she.
Actually, I would still play those games with my colleagues. As in, I would start it. I never have. Maybe I should try that on Monday.
Tifa, if you want to keep your job, don't do that at work. No, that's a ticket straight to HR. Definitely.
Nah. That's funnily enough though. I actually had that same conversation with my boss today.
I need to put this back on. Like,
I even mentioned it earlier already, but I've been working at the same place for 11 years now, which is basically 1/3 of my life. And my
1/3 of her life.
1/3. My level of what I can pull off is quite high already. And I told I now have 2 bosses. I told my old boss, I'm gonna call him, like the one I've been working with for 11 years already too, that I know my cadenza.
Your limits?
my limits are very high, but I also took a long time to test them out and to like raise the bar, you know what I mean? And now with my new boss, I kind of feel like the rebellious teenager trying to see how far you can go. Like, you gotta have some fun at work, but I don't know my new boss that well yet, so I gotta see like where
Full disclaimer.
can I put the bar?
She's still talking. Full disclaimer. If you want to live a happy life and you don't want trouble and you want to keep your job, don't do the things she's talking about. And she shouldn't either. And I will do my best that she doesn't actually do that at work, because there's no need. There's absolutely no need. If you want to think of these things, cool. Do it in your head. Like, imagine what the scenario would play out like. Do it with your friends, if you will, if they are the kind of people that are into that too. Don't do this at work. Don't go to a coworker. Hey, so you and the two of us were friendly. Which one of us would you rather die? No.
Yeah, but you also gotta know who you can pull that off with. Like, that's the whole thing.
I'm gonna keep sitting.
I'm not saying you should take career advice from me, but it's working for me.
Focus on me. Just look at
also,
me.
What's the favor, Evie?
Just look at me. Focus on me, just like the camera is doing. It's fine. It's okay. Stop talking. Yeah, I agree with that.
No, we don't have a hostile work environment. It's quite fun.
Thank you. Yeah, like Tifa makes it into a toxic work environment.
That is just so like not true, and you know it.
If you do that, you do.
No.
Yes.
I know exactly who I can pull what off with. With the people who I know can't appreciate it, I don't do it. At some point, you get to know your colleagues and you know what you can do.
The last thing I will say to this, and then I will continue reading, or hopefully we will get to reading our lines again. Tifa, I very much enjoy you having a job and being able to pay along for things, just from a logical standpoint. I would like to keep that arrangement where you get paid every month by a workplace, preferably the one you have currently, because you're doing well. And I would love it if you assist me in you keeping that status quo alive.
You act like I'm a monster at work.
No, but I'm saying it will take you just a twitch to cross that line.
Nah.
If you had to continue this conversation or have my cancer continue to not return, which would you choose? Exactly. That's the energy I'm getting from this mental experiment. No, I'm not here for that. No.
I mean, it is a valid would you rather question.
Not. It is not.
But it is a guilty.
What? That's what's going on in my head the entire time she's talking about this.
That's how the game works. You come with the most absurd situations, and you
to give people existential crisis. Mm-hmm.
I can't say we ever had an existential crisis about it.
Yeah, because back when you didn't know what those words meant.
I want beg to differ, but...
Hey Tifa, I'm gonna press a button and then Shiona's gonna say a thing, and I would love it for you to read the line that pops up, because I know my strategy for this game. Option D, I choose not to play. And I think that's the winning ticket.
Go for it. You can only save one.
She wasn't saying it to tease me, but... Let me on Discord, otherwise she and Tifa can take a break. I appreciate the effort. But if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Yeah, but that's the choice I will go with. That's perfectly fine.
If you don't, everyone dies.
Yeah, good.
That's usually the answer, then no, someone goes like, I don't want to pay.
If you and the other person are dumb enough to hurl yourselves off of a hypothetical cliff for me to hypothetically save one of you, goodbye to both of you. There you go. It's a variation of option C from earlier. My stomach hurts now.
Well, who would you pick here, though? Mion or Shion? Actually, Kei-chan is gonna answer for you in a moment anyway.
I can... okay, that we can do. If that situation were to occur, I can tell you exactly what would happen. I would freeze, have the panic attack of all panic attacks, and try to be heroic, hurl myself after the two of them, and die in the process. Screaming and shitting myself the entire way down. Spiraling. Passing out from my panic attack and not breathing, only to wake up again to realize I'm still falling and spiraling, to pass out again, to wake up again screaming.
I'm laughing, but this is such a realistic
Yes, that's what would happen.
that what would happen.
Yes. So at the same time, my choice is to just not go near cliffs with you two. She wasn't saying it to tease me, but had a playful tone behind her voice. But that's not a nice question. I want to save you both, but I can't do that, right?
Right. You can only save either Shion or Mion. Who do you save?
Why do you play along, Keiichi? You fell for the trap.
You have to.
By the way, I heard your answer to my question loud and clear. What was the question?
To continue this conversation or have my cancer continue? Well, we did stop that conversation.
I did definitely try to exit that conversation.
So obviously the answer was to not continue the conversation.
If it were Mion, I don't think she'd be in that situation in the first place, as it's something she could easily get out herself. But what about the normal frail Shion? Who says she is frail? She just...
Yeah, but she's sweet, so it's automatically frail. Starting another convo, still talking. Yeah, but that wasn't it. It was continue this conversation.
I say I kind of gotta talk during the stream, I feel like.
Okay, from now on, 2 hour silent stream. Keep mashing the button in between.
No, I'll just wait here because I want to read the line. That's not how that works. How is she frail? Somebody explain this to me. So, wait.
Yeah, but the sweet, nice and innocent equals
that's not
frail.
No, that's not
That
frail.
is what equals frail. A nice girl that needs help and is like, oh, hi, he is...
No.
Frail, yes.
Yeah, that's sexism again.
Yeah, but that's how it is. That's how the frail is.
This is horseshit. Keiichi himself pointed out that they look so much alike that they look like exactly the same person. If Shion is frail, then Mion has to be frail. Which doesn't appear to be the case, because he literally just said, if it were Mion, she wouldn't be in that situation in the first place. So like...
Yeah, but frail is also
how frail
part of a personality. Like I said, if you are meek, nice, cute, you're frail. But if you are exactly the same person, but you are not... I was going to say not nice, but you are more tough and have a bigger mouth, you are not frail.
Yeah, because frail is the first word that would come to my head after a person just showed up out of nowhere, got me away from 3 delinquents wanting to beat me within an inch of my life, and somehow summoned a circle of people and the police at the same time to come and dissolve the situation. Yes, frail, Keiichi. But what about the normal frail Shion? I guess I'd have no choice.
It's not my sister, right?
If Mion and Shion were different people, I suppose it would come to that. I couldn't confirm nor deny it. She should have been smiling, but her gaze was locked firmly to mine.
In other words, that's it, isn't it? My sister is... Sorry, I messed up what I was trying to say.
Shion was trying to talk in a light-hearted manner, but I felt like there was something more behind her words. Yes, that's fucked up! Was Mion trying to tell me something through Shion? Not being able to put a finger on exactly what it was vexing. Shion, to hide her embarrassment, turned the conversation around. How do you turn a conversation around from that?
You just go, more importantly, just now. Were you surprised when everybody kept on showing up?
Yes. Of course I was. If it were Reina or Satoko, that would have been one thing, but for all of those people, young and old together? They were all from Hinamizawa, right?
Yeah, that's right. Everybody in Hinamizawa is pretty close-knit. An enemy of one is the enemy of all. Nobody's going to look on from the sidelines. It's a pretty reliable group of residents. See? It's only because it was her that they came and helped.
If somebody is being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of a bully.
But there's a hole here. The thugs were from...
We don't know that.
Okay, yeah. They were just hanging there.
First of all, we don't know the residency of a free delinquents.
Fair.
Plus, I want to say, even within Hinamizawa, you can pull rank.
Because then they should have bullied us.
Yeah, well, yes, but a Sonozaki was protecting us. And I want to say that's like top tier, you know?
Yeah.
If somebody is being picked on, then everybody unites to get rid of a bully. It kind of sounds like the Mafia or the Yakuza's brand of unity.
You shouldn't say something like that.
Why? Because it's true?
It's something you should be thankful for. You were saved by that unity, weren't you? Never forget to show your appreciation.
Yeah, so this actually kind of sometimes messed up thing we're doing, you have to accept it because it was in your favor once. I love the whataboutism. Like, how can this be bad if it helped you? Like, it's still not great. I half-heartedly agreed. I knew full well I should be appreciative. Yeah, of being helped, but not... Everybody really is close-knit, aren't they?
Maybe it's because of tradition. Hinamizawa has been in danger of becoming a ghost town on several occasions. There's been a history of the villagers uniting together each time to fight for the village's continued existence. For example, Kei-chan, did you know about the Hinamizawa Dam project?
If he now says no, I'm going to start screaming.
He says no. Before we go into the dam project, I would like to take a short break.
Yes, please.
Before we learn about this again.
Let's take a damn break now. Then I can maybe, like... What's the word? Eject all of this from earlier.
BRB.
Who plays these games as a kid?
We're back.
So which one? Hinamizawa Dam Project.
And back we go.
Let's see. I feel like I've heard somebody talk about it before.
Have we heard it in this episode?
No, this makes no sense.
Chapter?
This makes no sense. We are less than a week away from the Watanagashi. And I mean, I'm hazy on the timeline of chapter 1, but 100% it was way before this that he learned about this.
Stream at 1:45 mark. Progress minus 5 minutes. Or lower than 5 minutes. Lower. Less than 5 minutes of text. I can talk.
This is how we do it. Oh yeah. 99% of that was her fault.
The bigger question is, where have we already heard the dam project in this chapter?
I've asked before, are the tips canon? Or are they not considered canon? Because...
It was not canon.
The tips.
Yes.
I remember talking about the post-credit thing where people came together like they're actors on a set, not the tips.
I thought we also talked about the tips.
Those are two different things. The tips are canon.
Tips are canon.
Then 100% there is no doubt in my mind that Keiichi does know about the damn thing by now.
Yeah, but where was that discussed here in the tips?
It wasn't in the tips, it was in the story itself and in the tips. Because there was a whole thing where he was helping Reina to get out the Colonel Sanders statue and he found
No, that was chapter 1.
Yes,
I
which
mean,
is what
in
I'm
this,
talking.
yeah, but I want to know in this chapter,
Not.
where in this chapter has the dam been mentioned?
Not ever.
Okay.
But in chapter 1, to my understanding, way before the events that are currently happening, we have a magazine she found in the trash, she learned about it from Tomitake. Yes, exactly. Say it in red, the after parties are not canon. I don't know what that means, Evie. I think the point is coming across though. I mean, I still don't have it confirmed, but I have a feeling I begin to understand what it means. This is the first mention of a dam project so far in Watanagashi. Yes.
Okay. I was wondering where we might have heard it, because I still believe they're two different things, chapter 1 and chapter 2.
Hell no.
Hey, we already learned at this point what it was, so this also doesn't make sense.
I blame the blood not being in Keiichi's brain, but somewhere...
That must be it.
Deeper down south.
About 10 years ago, there was a sudden proposal to build a dam here, which would have submerged Hinamizawa underwater.
Oh, that story. I think I heard my dad talk about that. But I'm pretty sure that plan was cancelled, right?
We made them cancel it. Everybody banded together. So that was a well-earned victory.
Calling it now 100% Shion is the killer. She has at least murdered somebody and she will do it again. And she probably is also the Mion that injected Keiichi at the end of chapter 1. There is no qualms, nothing that gives you a hint of the gruesome, horrible shit that happened during all of that. None of the attacks on the dam construction people, nothing about the dismemberment, nothing of what happened after that, nothing of people going missing, nothing. Like, it doesn't matter to her. This
But it
person
didn't matter
is a
to
murderer.
anyone who told the story. Like, no one was like, oh, there was a murder and they got dismembered, so...
Yeah, so they're all messed up, but we're talking about Shion right now because she's in front of us.
I'm sure Shion is all kinds of messed up, but that's not...
I say it in red, that's the absolute truth. That's what I was getting from your contextual clues.
Ah, thank you.
What? Who said anything about all of that? Me. Me, a returning player from chapter 1. That sounded pretty much like the story I heard. The protest intensified to the point where it was featured in newspapers and magazines. As a result, the plan was suspended.
The whole story with the dam apparently started before I was born. At first, the proposal was only for exploratory purposes, or a small dam to control erosion.
Here we go.
But then, the cat was let out of the bag.
That's me, though.
Is it?
Yeah. Hello, T. Happy Friday.
T, how are you doing?
But then, the cat was let out of a bag. If it were completed, it would have been the biggest dam in Japan. Not just Hinamizawa, but several villages upstream would have been submerged as well. The protests immediately began. Petitions to cancel or relocate the project were drafted and submitted to the Diet.
To the diet?
Yeah, like the group of people that decides that.
Oh, okay.
It's a politics term. Whenever I hear diet, I only think of trying to lose weight, but...
Coke?
What?
Diet Coke?
Okay. I don't know if you're aware, but people who do cocaine also lose weight quite fast, usually, because they don't necessarily want to eat and they get more active. So... I wasn't clear on whether you were going to talk about a 0-calorie beverage or drug use. It's a Friday, people. I even went so far as to go to the Ministry of Construction in Tokyo to hand over a direct appeal to the minister. The previous landowners sued the government, stating there were inconsistencies in the purchase agreement and the transaction should be nullified. Owners of yet unacquired land split their properties, increasing the number of landowners in order to stifle the project.
Smart. It was all very precious when the land acquisition was still about money. Eventually, they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize land.
Unless, again, maybe culturally this is different in Japan. But I want to say, unless you are directly related to somebody who lived through all of this, I have never ever met like a 15-year-old that just randomly started talking about, yeah, eventually they started relying on eminent domain in order to seize the land. That is not a word in a regular, common 15-year-old's vocabulary.
This is the word that you are stuck on. Out of all the discussions we have had about what words teenagers use,
yes,
you are stuck on eminent.
Eminent domain, that's a phrase. Yeah.
Out of all of them so far.
Yeah, because isn't that like a concept? I don't even know what that means.
This is something they probably like learned even.
It's a word someone who fought a dam project says. Exactly.
But that's exactly what they have. Like here it even makes more sense because it was such a big thing in their village. They probably all learned about it. They heard it 100 times. So it kind of makes sense that they will repeat it.
Nah,
but with words that they would never have heard anywhere. That no one would say. You're like, oh yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
Goes deeper than that. Tifa is on team Hini-Mini-Me. And she's trying to gaslight me out of my following the leads.
Like, I just don't get where you pick your fights, I'm gonna say.
Just randomly.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
It does to me.
The ones where I think it makes sense, you go like, oh no, it doesn't. And the other way around.
I'm explaining it every single time, you just refuse to listen, I guess. Also, the Diet is the legislative body of Japan, the building where they do all of their lawmaking.
Ah, okay.
Thank you very much. I will try to remember that, because I'm pretty sure the Diet is going to become a thing in Chapter 3 again.
Is that only in Japan, though? Or is that the general term?
I think it's in Japan,
for every country.
I know over here we pay our politicians diets. That's the term that is being used in Germany, Diäten. I don't know why they chose to use that word. I guess salary was too easy. Eminent domain is a concept wherein the government can seize land for governmental or public use if they pay fair market value for it. Okay.
That's how they took a lot of land.
Oh, the German term would be Enteignung, I guess, where they do exactly what you just described. I don't know why I started the sentence over.
Yeah.
Alright.
They can do a lot of people dirty with that. It started at that point. The riot police began to get violent.
Riot police? You mean the police? Why would they act violent?
They punched. They kicked. There was a time I was hit. Right around here, I think. Around, like, where? Can you point at the doll where they hit you?
Can you show us on this pancake where you were busted open like a coconut?
My skin split open and a whole lot of blood spilled out.
Saying that, Shion indicated her temple by poking at it. Okay. That's fucked up.
I mean, yeah, but what's she doing on a riot scene?
Bad parenting. Why would you bring your child, your underage child, to...
Yeah, that I agree with.
I'm not a parent. I never will be, but I want to say I know better than parents who bring their children to what will escalate into a riot, yes. It's we're building a highway through here, exactly, through your house. What happened to the police? Filing a complaint against the riot police for brutality would seem kind of strange for some reason. Naturally, they wouldn't pay heed to something like that. You wouldn't be able to establish proof of what exactly hit you, and they could justify their actions by saying you were interfering with police duties.
My Nana went off like a firework. After that, it was amazing, like a full-scale war. We weren't just going to sit by and idly file complaints. We went on the offensive.
The way this is delivered, she's like brainwashed into thinking all of this is like heroic behavior.
Well, I bet she has the head in her closet.
And I get that. Like, from the perspective of a people that have their livelihood just like evaporate or drown in front of them as a concept, like, I get the anger. But for a teenager to like witness all of them and go like, yeah, it was amazing. We declared war on them. It got physical. Like,
yeah, but it can still be amazing, because what you saw was your village your people, your family, come together and fight off the government, basically.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
Like, that is amazing.
Yes, I get that part.
It's not like, oh, death, destruction, ha ha ha, sort of amazing, I want to think.
See, that's where my opinion is different, because I get that point. And yes, it's a wonderful thing when people come together for a common cause, because it's uniting and there's this feeling of unity, for lack of even more descriptive terms. But that completely leaves out, at best and at worst, glorifies the means used to achieve that end. Because it wasn't just like, oh, we all came together and talked some sense into them. We know how this story ends. This story ends with 6 people, I think it was, dismembering one of the people they hated.
I fully agree where you're going to, but that's not how you look at it on the other side. There, you, like I said, you have fought off the oppressors, whatever means necessary. They are the evil guys. It doesn't matter if they die.
I see what you mean, but I say, as humans, I think it should. There should be lines that don't get crossed, you know?
But that's not how it is.
Doesn't matter what cause, you don't bring your kid with you. It's just using them as human shields. Yes. There is a wonderful, I think it's the opening to a Punisher comic, where this terrorist guy uses babies to shield himself. He tapes a bunch of babies to his body so that the Punisher wouldn't be able to kill him, because why the Punisher doesn't kill innocent people, right? It's like babies, they can't have done anything. I'll leave the rest up to you to read that comic.
The Punisher show was really good.
Yes, it was. Hinamizawa is the new America. History just repeats, you know, nothing is ever new. It's just the same things that have been done.
Why can't we just be like the French and shit in the river?
Exactly. What would you be willing to protect your hometown? It's a good question. Yeah, not necessarily the hometown, but what would you do to protect, like, your life? That can be a different thing for everybody.
Well, your life, probably a lot. My hometown, or the town I live in now, or any town for that matter, probably not.
But that's why I'm saying your life, because my hometown to me means nothing. I don't feel any patriotism. Like, I'm happy to be in Germany. I like the country. Is it perfect? No.
But then I'll go there, you know.
Do I love it? I mean, I think it's not the worst place to be, but would I go to war over it? Most likely not. No. So, like, would I, however, turn to violence if I didn't find any other way to protect Tifa? Yeah. Don't want to, but, you know, like, different things mean different things to other people. So clearly they all love Hinamizawa to the point where they're willing to do these things. At one point the government became a dictatorship and didn't leave him a choice.
I mean, and don't forget, it was peaceful until blood was spilled by one of their own. No matter how that happened, didn't matter. She could have beaten her own head in just to start it off.
That's where I was going next. Was there really no choice? Or did people with certain intentions escalate it to get to a certain outcome? Because, like, if things just escalate because people keep escalating things, okay, that's still stupid and I hate it, but that's a thing. But I feel like the story is gonna be bigger than this. I feel like there's gonna be some sort of manipulation somehow.
Probably, yeah. But don't forget, in an angry mob, you only need one person to be a trigger to start a frenzy.
Yeah, it becomes like a powder keg, and then one thing can set off you. I think the police escalated in this case.
That is what they said, yeah. It probably is true. I mean, these protests can definitely become a bit more rough.
Yeah, I mean, just from the little bit we've now seen, like, Shion gets hurt when the grandmother goes off and people probably banded around that. Counter question, why did they bring their kid? Oh well. Let's try to find out. First, in order to call attention to the government, they filed a temporary injunction in court. Then, in order to gain public support, they called in prominent scientists to state that Hinamizawa was a valuable nature preserve. They pressured the prefectural and municipal assemblies, saying that the prefectural governor ignored his constituents when he approved the project and demanded his resignation. They completely and thoroughly denounced him. Naturally, in Hinamizawa, a ferocious conflict worthy of being called the Dam War began. In order to suppress the police's brutality, they coordinated with the network channels and exposed the violence of the riot squad members to the public. On top of that, they put together a special expose themed around the government repressing the citizens and aired it nationally. It worked wonders. Following that, the SWAT teams had their hands cuffed. Day after day, the petitions and demonstrations continued. Propaganda was used to help garner support. The circle of support gradually expanded outwards from Hinamizawa. Either that bore fruit or the government finally decided against it. It was announced that the dam project was indefinitely suspended just a few years ago.
We did everything we could. The entire village banded together and fought. At that time, we were desperate. But now that it's over, it's actually become a pretty good memory. The villagers' feelings of solidarity and unity still haven't faded.
Yeah. The judge has a legal order to stop someone from doing this or that. She sees the version without the violence, I guess. Or
no, she sees the violence as well.
Or at the very least, the whole unity and getting it cancelled just overpowers all of that. Because, I don't know, I would want to hope that if people die in the process, there is more of a bittersweetness to it. In the end the dam project was cancelled, but it came at a cost.
Yeah, but the people who died were all on the evil side. It doesn't matter if they died on the evil side. There is no bitter cost.
Everything turned out fine and everyone was happy, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why Higurashi, When They Cry, is the greatest slapstick comedy where nothing bad ever happens. She said that as she focused off into the distance. I felt that those eyes weren't filled with anguish, but rather a sense of pride. That kind of solidarity is pretty nice. You don't see it too often, bridging the generation gap and unifying the region.
I think so too. The dam project was a trial. I think that just the fact that we were able to overcome it is huge.
A trial. The fear I was feeling until now just gradually began to fade. When people began to show up one after another while I was engaged with those thugs, I thought it was frightening. But now I felt from the bottom of my heart that I had been rude. The villagers prepared to defend their homeland to the death. The sense of solidarity that fostered. It might seem impudent to say this, but I was a little jealous. If I had been in Hinamizawa when the protest against the dam was going on, I might have been able to share in that sense of solidarity.
Kei-chan, you weren't here at the time, so I don't think you can fully feel the solidarity in the village. But everybody shares it. Thoroughly. Even with somebody who just moved here like you, Kei-chan. Nah, that wasn't for us.
She couldn't have been more right. So many people got together to help me out when I just moved here. Even though they were just strangers whose names I didn't even know. A hot feeling began welling up inside of me. When I lived in the city, I didn't even know my own neighbors. I thought that was natural. But here, that was an absurd and pathetic thing. Even though I thought of them as strangers, all the other villagers viewed me as a comrade. Happiness and warmth. I was acutely aware of those feelings as they gradually welled up inside of me. Which is kind of funny in retrospect, because by the time they surround his house and he runs away, he still doesn't recognize them.
As a kid, you don't speak to all these people, why would you?
Yeah, fair enough. Plus, didn't they say there's 1,200, 1,300 people living in Hinamizawa? Good luck getting to know all of them in just a few months.
Also, I want to counterpoint with saying we've been living in this apartment for 8 years and you still don't recognize all the neighbors.
That is true.
Same thing then, no? And he's only been there for 2 months?
Yeah, but I've also never had this like epiphany of, oh, I want to feel like a community with these people.
Yeah, but he only had that now.
Fair enough, and in the 2 weeks he died. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you have a point.
Tsunazaki-san, the manager wants you to work the floor.
A more senior waitress waved her hand and called out to Shion. It seemed like it was time for work.
Okay, I'm coming. Sorry. Looks like I have to go to work now.
It's fine. Thanks for hanging out with me, it was fun.
Oh, are you going home?
Yeah. My mom gets fussy if I'm not home by dinner time. It seemed that Shion wanted to say something, but she swallowed her words. Like, we hadn't talked enough, that kind of feeling. Looking at that expression, I regretted saying something that had disappointed Mion like that. I was about to say that I could stay for a little while longer when Shion got up from her seat.
Here. If you use the coupon, it should cover the pancakes as well.
Saying that, she showed me a coupon booklet as she tore out a few sheets and handed them to me.
Convenient, isn't it? It's a perk I get on top of my salary.
Free food and drinks is a really nice perk.
That is really nice.
It's okay. I can pay for the pancakes myself.
Actually, free food and drinks that you can give to others is a nice perk. Because I've worked in like restaurants and hotels, and usually you get like lunch or dinner like on the house. But never for like someone you know.
Yeah, but still, it's free food and drinks for you. That's already nice.
Yeah, but like this is even like better because you can pass it on.
Fair enough.
Been living here at least 12 years, and I don't care to learn about my neighbors enough to name all of them.
Same. Like, I know their names because I can see them, like, when I enter the building, because, you know, the apartment, like, the names are there, but I don't have the faces to all of them.
I know all the names of the people in this apartment, but I don't know...
In this apartment, I damn well hope so.
Apartment block.
There's one other person in this apartment with you.
In this apartment block, but I don't know which name connects to which person necessarily. I want to say with half of them I know which face connects to which name, and with the other one it's like I know the face but not the name, and there it's still like haven't connected the dots yet.
Wakes up, who the fuck are you? Yeah, apparently if she can't even remember all the names and faces of the people in this apartment, it's just me.
Are you shocked?
Rack.
Oh yeah, rack.
It has to rhyme.
So many people in this house sometimes.
But yeah, what she said.
Working in a hotel, free breakfast means you can take some home. It's just not usually ultra fresh. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. We always got to have the leftovers from the buffet.
Prospective. A mild case, yes.
Sometimes it's also just not caring. In our case, it's more the... Hey! Being so reserved doesn't fit you, Kei-chan. If I were my sister, you would have gladly let me pay for it.
That's because she's not frail. She said as she laughed, gently stopping me from opening my wallet. Being told so with such an encouraging smile really resounded with me.
Tsunazaki-san, sorry, could you take care of the register? Yeah, right away.
Later. Today was fun. Saying that, Shion smiled one more time at me. Oh, Mion. Thanks a lot for today. I owe you one. Okay.
If you really think that, then return the favor. I'm looking forward to it.
After I said that, I realized I mistakenly called her Mion. I didn't know if she realized it or not. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Do you believe, Tifa, that Shion being hit in the head to the point of it being a gaping wound will have anything to do with the Shion-Mion duality?
No, I still believe there's two.
Because, you know, it would be convenient that somebody develops an alter ego, second personality kind of thing after they've been hit in the head really hard.
The one thing that is making me doubt still is that they have the same story on the damn side. Mion said She, I believe, even fought someone there and got injured.
No, she
Shion.
fought somebody, but I don't recall her being injured.
Fair enough. Shion
But
got
that could be the
injured.
same thing.
Could be the same story.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the things do kind of overlap. I mean, they're siblings. Why would one not be there and the other be there? But for now, I think 2 people still. But I would not be shocked at all if you're right, and it is a...
And Shion is the other version of Mion. Like all
Yeah.
the things... Shion is like all the things Mion isn't. Can't be, doesn't want to be. Like, Shion is the girlier side to Mion's tomboyish, like, casual appearance. Shion is
They're on the complete opposite sides.
the angry, forceful one, if necessary. And Mion is the... She gets flustered and stuff. Yeah, I don't know yet. Blunt force trauma? I guess that's what it was.
It could be.
It has to be a lot of force if your skin bursts open.
Yeah, but don't forget this. The side of your head here is real soft and sensitive. You don't need a lot of force on there.
Oh god, imagine. Like a ripe mango, like... Lazing around and watching television after dinner was a part of my daily routine. It might seem like a waste at first glance, but you could say it was an important time when I was able to accrue knowledge of everything from politics to economics to various trivia. After dinner was valuable time well spent while the brain was at its most supplied with nutrients. You idiot! It's obvious that Tokyo Tower is taller. Ah! This is true, by the way. I mean, they left out a part, but they wanted to rebuild the Eiffel Tower in Tokyo, and they did. But they accidentally built a taller version of the Eiffel Tower. So, if you've been to the Eiffel Tower and you've been to the Tokyo Tower is the taller one. How do I know that? Anime. I forgot which one though.
I didn't know the Tokyo Tower was based on it.
Yeah, it's a copy. Today I tested my knowledge of trivia by watching my weekly quiz show.
Wait, a copy?
Yeah.
Doesn't it look a bit different? Tokyo Tower is also red, no?
A little bit, yeah, but still.
Does it have the same shape? Or the same...
Yes.
I mean, same shape, yes,
Yes.
but same... Okay.
Sitting in front of a television, I was able to get a lot of the answers right. But if I were actually up on stage, I'd probably fail miserably.
Keiichi! Phone call from Sonozaki-san!
Which one? Okay. Sonozaki. That's Mion. It was a little late for her to be calling. Not that we would know because the clock don't have no hands. Is what Tifa was going to say in a minute.
I was gonna say it's Shion because she just finished her shift in the cafe.
Possible. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a hunch it was something to do with club activities. He was probably going to inform me about what we were doing tomorrow. This was Mion we're talking about. She might even go so far as to say we're doing club activities right now, so hurry up and come over. By the way, it was 8 PM. Now you know. Hello? No way we're having a club battle right now.
Huh? That's not it. I mean...
It was Mion, but it was a very un-Mion-like way of talking. Huh? Could it be? Sorry. Could it be you're not Mion, but Shion?
That's right. Good evening.
What do you call it when it's prosopagnosia, but with voices?
They sound the same, remember?
My question still stands. What is there a medical term for what you call it when you can't discern different people by their voices? Because I would imagine that exists too.
Probably yes, but it doesn't apply in this situation.
Why do you have to ruin all my fun? I was trying to have a learning experience here.
You are trying to put the experience on Kei-chan, like, oh, why doesn't he recognize it's Shion? Because they have the same voice.
I love how you are so buddy-buddy with Keiichi that you say Kei-chan and not Keiichi Maebara. They're twins, Jack. I'm still curious.
Now he's trying to put it on the I'm curious card. Like, it totally had nothing to do with this. It
Why?
just made me think of it.
Why are you like my French teacher and don't want me to learn things?
Because that wasn't the point.
Okay, if any of you know, please don't tell me because Tifa couldn't handle me learning things.
Yeah, you can still answer if somebody knows, but I'm only saying that it doesn't apply to this situation, which you were gonna call it all. Sorry for calling so late.
For Mion, this would have been an ill-fittingly polite way of talking, but since it was Shion, it was natural. Even though they were both the same person. With a dry smile, I enjoyed that mysterious feeling. No, it's fine. What's up?
Kei-chan, do you like sweets, like cakes or desserts? Desserts.
I do really enjoy desserts. My favorite is gobi. There was no way I hated them. I'm an unabashed glutton.
That's great. Actually, there's a new dessert contest this summer.
Looks like they have a new dessert menu every season. So they were hiring taste testers for potential desserts.
The desserts at Angel Mort have a good reputation. It's pretty difficult to get accepted as a taste tester. I'll get right to the point. Ta-da!
Star? Wow.
Star.
A desert deserted in the desert. Oh my god. Going back to the I like eating dust.
A deserted desert dessert who has been deserted by the desert. I don't know. That doesn't work.
Deserters deserting desserts in the desert.
Say it 10 times.
No.
Huh.
That's annoying. For me and you. You say tada, but I can't see over the phone. Still, could it be...
That's right. I have a taste testing ticket right here.
a TTT?
If you don't mind sweets, how about it?
When you say how about it, you basically mean... With that ticket, I can eat all the new desserts I want? They say to beware of honey pots, but this is sweeter than any pot of honey. All you can eat free dessert? No way!
If you're okay with that, I'll register you as a taste tester. When you come to the restaurant tomorrow, just give the person in charge your name. Then everything will work out.
When you say everything will work out, you mean all you can eat. For free.
Yeah, it's free. There's quite a bit, so I recommend you come hungry. That is no problem at all.
This was such a delectable opportunity, it was almost scary. This was really Shion, right? It wasn't Mion posing as Shion in order to bait me into a trap, was it? What am I saying? I'm the same person.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kei-chan. You're thinking this is too good to be true, right?
Yep, I mean, I would never.
Oh.
No, he. Hey, look.
Oh, that's a gulp, not a...
That sounds like Goofy drowning. Goofy being pulled out of the ocean, laying on the beach while the CPR is being administered, gasping for the breath of life.
I heard from my sister, but you're really somebody who can't tell a lie. I'm not averse to somebody like that.
Oh no, Keiichi-kun, all of your traits are so attractive to me.
I'm not averse to that.
Kingdom Hearts bad ending. Oh my god, possibly.
Oh yeah.
That's a good ending again. Shion laughed with a voice that sounded a lot like how Mion would laugh.
It's not like I was intending on it, but it just so happens that my shift ends early tomorrow. If it's not a bother, I thought maybe we could spend a little time together after I'm done.
Your shift ends early tomorrow.
Yeah. So while you take your time eating dessert, I'll finish up.
Well, I didn't have any plans anyway. I don't mind hanging out with you for a bit.
It's not like we have to go anywhere. I was thinking we could cool off in the evening while we take a walk.
There was no reason for me to refuse. out of courtesy, I might as well take her up on her offer.
Well, she's giving us free all-you-can-eat cake desserts.
This is one of those scenes where, like, if you live that long, like 10 years later, Keiichi just randomly walks up at like 2 a.m. I was like, she was asking me out on a date. Like,
but only if this hasn't turned into a How I Met Your Mom story.
Yeah.
That's like when
True.
you've parted ways,
Yeah,
nothing has happened, then 10 years later you wake up.
Yeah. Let's see how dumb Keiichi really is.
By the way, Kei-chan, you and I have been meeting up every day, haven't we?
Now that you say it, I guess we have.
Don't remind me, please.
Really? Have you gone through that too?
Aww.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes it's a small world, you never know.
That's true. And when you can do the great thing where after the 10 years have elapsed and you woke up drenched in sweat, realizing that, you look for the person on like Facebook or whatever, and you find them and you send them a message. And as you're about to hit enter to send the message, you realize there's pictures of a person with their family, and then you don't. What?
Here I thought this was going to be such a sweet story, and then you somehow made this so much worse.
I could. Should I try to go for the silver lining?
Nah, it's already too late right now.
And that's when you realize the next time there's an opportunity, you should have taken it. And not gone like, maybe they're just doing it to be nice. Maybe, no, but go for it.
Thanks for cheering me up, Jack. You're basically that, isn't it?
You have such your words. Yes, but that's a learning experience. Sometimes you miss an opportunity because you talk yourself out of it or something, like you get in your head and then you don't go for it, and you just learn in life that that was it. You don't get a second chance. So hopefully though, the next time a situation like this comes up, you don't go, yeah, nah. You go for it. You shoot your shot and maybe things work out. That's why we're both sitting here, no? Because we both took a chance. There, here's the positive. I know it didn't seem like this when I was telling the story, but there's a happy end.
It's not what I took from your story.
Sometimes the wisdom I impart can be as cruel a mistress as life itself.
Since you said okay, we have an excuse to meet again tomorrow.
Huh? What was Mion saying?
Kei-chan, your voice just cracked. What's the matter? What's a snicker? No, then they would go.
It wasn't a video phone, but you could tell I was beet red.
Well, then you should definitely come tomorrow. I'll take my leave here. Good night.
Good night.
Sweet dreams. Think of dessert, but also of me.
Depending on how puberty you are, maybe both of them at the same time.
In my not perfy outfit?
But we wouldn't be able to show that on screen because ratings?
Ooh. Well, we're mature already anyway.
Yeah, but we're not gonna show that. I'm pretty sure it exists if you Google it. Shion finished with what she had called to say and ended the conversation without any chit-chat. When I returned to the living room after hanging up the phone, the TV was already off and my mom was sleeping in a rocking chair. How long were we on the phone? Not feeling like turning the TV back on, I went back upstairs and returned to my room.
Oh no. I was gonna say I can tell by the clock, but no.
I've only been receiving favors from Shion, haven't I? She brought me a bento and saved me when I got involved with those thugs. She was supposed to be a different person, so I could thank Mion at school. Come to think of it, Are you aware that whatever you're doing there is doing the opposite of what it is you're trying to achieve?
My shoulder is stuck.
Yeah, but if you want to relax a muscle, you don't get that effect by moving that muscle. You need to do stretches. not move.
Well, that's also not an option now, is it?
Tifa, sit like a human. Here, sit like this with me.
Yeah, but that hurts my shoulder at the moment.
Tifa, because your posture is so bad, your human skeleton is becoming a Tifa skeleton. I'm putting my hand in her back to like give her extra lumbar support. Come to think of it, she'd probably just say she'll pass it on to her sister. Now, stay straight. I now have my hand on her neck to like straighten her out. It says, I have to thank Shion directly. Tomorrow, I'll have to repay her somehow. Just let Shion eat the desserts off of your... No. They could do the indirect kiss thing where they both try a different dessert and then they feed each other with their own like forks.
You have to eat in such a way that there's like cake on your face so that she can go like, oh, let me get that for you.
Yeah, that's innocent enough. Fair enough.
Gotta start somewhere.
Details of a delinquent 3.
Oh, now we'll learn if they are from the area or not.
It kind of sounds like it's the name of a German fairy tale for kids. And when you slip with a fork and the person needs surgery to reconstruct the throat. That would be horrible.
Yeah, that seems painful.
That's 100% what would happen to me. Like, especially at like 15, I would get so flustered if I was in that situation. Because like, I was fat, I was pimply, and like all of these things that made me super uncomfortable in my own skin, and then sitting there with a girl you like and going like, oh, you want to try my cake? Sure. Something like that. Like, if I managed to get it like in her mouth, I would break her teeth with like, with a fork. And I realized when I did that, like it got the point across, but it probably looked really weird, and I'm sorry for that. You played all the 3 delinquents, by the way, so Tifa is back to reprise her role.
Just why you're arresting us? Bullshit! Let him go on me!
I love your delinquent voice.
That's very delinquent.
Kuma-chan, you can let go of her arms now. Here, please sit down. 3 people rubbed their arms painfully. Kumagai-kun and the others must have been squeezing them pretty tightly. Don't get me wrong. I haven't arrested you or anything. Kuma-chan, go get me something cold from the fridge, please. Would you like your barley with foam or without? They plunked down onto the reception sofa, and despite not yelling anymore, they still had dangerous expressions. Huh? Yeah. Like this? Yeah. Huh? What you want, mate? Why do I sound like a drunk, toothless, British, homeless brawler? What I'd give to be young again. I'll drink even if you don't, you know. Excuse me for helping myself. Beer is best when you drink it on the job. What the fuck?
He has a point. I only drink beer on the job.
Who's the narrator?
You? Like,
why?
Who else?
Why? I'll just keep going with this. As he downed the beer with glee, the 3 people exchanged glances, then finally reached out for their cans. They hadn't stopped being cautious. It was more like they didn't see a reason to refuse. They each opened their cans and began to drink the contents.
Welcome to the police station. Well, he must want something from them.
Where did you guys come from? You're not from around here.
That answers that question.
What is that supposed to be? Is it like a chuckle? Is it like a stifled laugh? Like, who goes?
Like a... So
Yeah, but I can't do that without going like...
just blow wind.
Listen, I can't do that without going halfway Hannibal Lecter. With a... like,
Yeah, don't use your teeth and tongue. Just go.
don't use my teeth and tongue.
Shit. Just go. Just blow. Yeah.
Yeah, but that'll be a...
And then. Can you do that more than once?
Okay, we've reached the limits of my ability to voice act. I cannot... As a middle-aged Japanese detective. I'm sorry. Are you good?
I'm doing that.
Are you okay?
Yeah, but there, I just did it for you.
Do
that again.
Like you're really into that.
I'm trying to get you to do it.
No. You just have to do it for me next time. They looked at each other again, suspicious of whether they should tell him. Are you all college students? Friends on a trip? You were probably traveling on bikes or something. Sounds like fun I wish I was having. You don't live close by, do you? Where did you come from? Osaka, perhaps?
What's the matter to you?
No, there's no trying to intimidate me. You would have all been in a lot of trouble if I'd left you there, right? I seem to recall the thrilling event from earlier. While I could understand getting surrounded by students or a gang or something along those lines, I would never have been surrounded by locals, both young and old, both men and women before. It was easy to imagine how scared they must have been. If you were from here, the people of Hinamizawa wouldn't have done anything to you, no matter what you had done wrong. And they're all special. Not in the sense of parents not wanting to get involved in their children's fights. If one person gets bullied, the village will come out in full force. That's not just an idle threat, you know. They couldn't argue against that.
They are the victims, though. Like, they didn't start this shit.
Well...
Did they react wrong? Yes.
Their reaction was wrong, therefore I would argue that...
They're the initial victims.
Everybody sucks here. Everybody sucks here. They themselves had been surrounded. They'd seen it with their own eyes. There was no doubt about it. Around these parts, if the people of Hinamizawa give you a glare like that, you'll simply get demoned away and no one will hear from you again. You'll suddenly disappear without a trace. Do you all have families that would get the police to search for you if you weren't missing? Or if you went missing? If not, then that's bad. You'll vanish and that'll be the end of it.
The other people didn't know that I only saw one of them being harassed. I mean, yeah. Well, some of the people did see, I guess, because at first they ignored us.
But we weren't paying attention.
Yeah, I suppose.
Could have been anything. Could have been Keiichi being a dick to one of the three delinquents, so he brought backup. Because Keiichi was the original instigator of it. Like,
fair enough. Also, ooishi-san does have a common habit of letting or giving too many details.
Yeah, he has a thing for telling young, impressionable boys things they shouldn't be told.
Mm-hmm.
Sense a theme here. Not a good one. Even then, we got there soon enough that nothing happened. If we'd been late, things could have taken a turn for the worse. If they'd been forced into an alleyway, those young men wouldn't be sitting on a couch right now. They might be lying on an autopsy table. Well, probably not. Anyway, perhaps they'd be a little more cooperative if we'd found them as corpses. What the fuck is... like, really? How did you all get to Okinomiya? By train? By bike?
Bike.
That's not good. They're still parked there, aren't they? If you go waltzing in to get them back, they really might gang up on you.
Hellsat, we'll take them all.
Calm down, calm down. Why are young people these days so quick to be shouting?
Because you just told them they're going to kill you if you go back.
And I was just thinking that. I didn't say those exact words.
Didn't we?
Yeah, Ooishi-san should not be the one to have talks with like the victims and stuff, or anybody really. Should just investigate. He could be really good at that, but boy does he suck with talking to people, I guess. You don't want any more trouble, right? Tell me the bike license plate numbers. I'll bring them here for you. Kuma-chan, please borrow the loading truck we use for traffic disasters. You have license plates on Japanese bikes. Okay.
Depends on the type of bike they are, I want to say.
You were Kuma, by the way.
Got it. It's fine. We'll get them ourselves.
Do you really want to get surrounded again? The police may not be fast enough to save you this time. Oh, not bicycles. Oh, like bikes,
The actual
as in
bikes,
like a moped or something. Oh.
Then they definitely do. He either sucks
Okay.
or he's a puppet master. Well, what he's doing works, but not Farad.
Thank you. Now I got it.
So like
oh my
bike.
God.
That's even worse, because do you know the damage Keiichi probably cost?
Yeah, that's expensive. Also, wait a goddamn second. I just had an epiphany.
Well, out with it.
Oh. Do you remember, back in chapter 1, we had a whole conversation about how the main person behind the dismemberment of that damn project person is still missing.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember that at some point while we were following Ooishi with his police work, we also talked about, wouldn't it be a great plot device if a person that got away somehow became a politician or part of a police force themselves to like try to pull the strings in the background so that nothing bad happens to Hinamizawa?
It's not ooishi-san.
Why not?
He wouldn't have been trying to start investigations against the villagers then, and they also would not have been hostile towards him.
Yes, he would.
Nah, he would.
Yes, 100%.
Nah.
Hear me out.
He would have been a hero towards the villagers, and he is seen as everything but.
Yeah, that's part of the rules.
Nah.
Yes.
100% disagree.
The best way to hide yourself to the people that don't know about you is that the people that do know you act like they don't.
Nah.
Yes.
Yeah, I can agree with the whole ruse, but that is
out.
absolutely not the case.
Hear me out. Breathe for a moment. I'm saying, if Ooishi-san is the guy and he goes and is the only one who investigates these things, first of all, he has never, conveniently, because it's so difficult, he says, he has never been able to produce anything that his supervisors and the people in charge were willing to listen to. He is undermining the entire effort to ever make a serious case about all of this. He could very well be, at least have played a part in why the cases were never considered one mystery but 5 individual cases. He is the one who is in contact with all of these strange people. He has talked to Reina, or has learned about her. He has definitely had some run-in with Sonozaki. Why would he confide with Keiichi? Because of the puppet master thing. If I tell you...
What did you do, Evie?
That's not on Evie. Evie just reminded me of something that seems rather obvious, if that comes to be the thing.
It doesn't fit the setting at all.
If you tell Keiichi certain things, you push him to think a certain way. If you want him to go nuts and like be afraid of everybody around him, telling him these things makes perfect sense. The question is, what exactly was he trying to achieve? Because if you get into somebody's head and you scare them enough, that can be a goal.
I absolutely
Nobody
agree
is willing to investigate Hinamizawa at all.
No, I
That's
absolutely agree that he is aiming for something by telling all of these things, but it is not because he is the murderer. That does not fit the setting of how this village works so far at all.
He even gave us a clue. His mother is from Hinamizawa or whatever, and she told him things about the town.
Yeah, but I do not agree at all. If this was a detective show about finding serial killers and lone murderers, then yes, I absolutely agree. Could have been a thing. Who knows? I mean, that's a good alibi. But in this game, this setting, hell no, not a thing at all.
If a goal was to scare Keiichi, why kill him? Why kill anybody here? That's the part I don't get yet. Like, all of these people did something that Hinamizawa as a collective group of people didn't approve of. What exactly, I still don't know.
You're trying to reach so far. It doesn't work.
Okay, but you want to know my ultimate reason why I think Ooishi-san could be that guy?
Go.
He has character art.
Yeah, because he's a big character so far.
So?
That doesn't say anything.
We've had other characters that didn't get art.
Yeah, and they've never had as many lines as Ooishi.
So?
What do you mean so? That's your whole point.
Only
he
important
has
characters get character art.
He is an important character. Did you see how big of a part he was in chapter 1? Of course he has character art.
Ooishi-san would be in a perfect situation to interfere with anybody finding out about what is actually going on in Hinamizawa.
I will sooner believe aliens took the head than
And if he is the only person that figures it all out, he would also be the only person that needs to bury all the evidence. Versus a whole investigative team.
No.
It's easier to silence one person, especially if that person wants things to be silenced, than like a whole police department. It could be.
Nah.
I am the puppet master and you are dancing. There is no escape. I'm enjoying my dance.
It has to be wrong. I have no doubt that you are wrong.
I know she was in a bad crowd, but it's worse than I imagine. Aliens!
I'm telling you, aliens is the more logical conclusion than what you just said.
Reminder, Tifa still thinks we're in the morphogenetic field and chapter 2 is not related to chapter 1.
I don't think it's fully related, no.
Go read you the link.
It's not
online.
the same timeline. It's fine, innit? If we're surrounded, they're gonna get knocked down.
Hey, you three. You're drinking the barley with foam, right? Try turning your engines on. I'll arrest you on the spot for drunk driving.
That's fucking dirty!
That's genius, actually.
That is really smart. But you can't drink one beer, I believe.
First of all, depends on the country. Second of all, I don't think you should drink anything and then drive.
No, I agree, but if we're talking about the legal things, I'm quite sure there's still...
I'm going to Google that.
On the legal part.
Alcohol driving in Japan. 0.15 milligrams per 1 liter of breath.
How much is that? Here, how much alcohol can you drink and drive in Japan? First link. Does it say how much there?
3 per milli whatever. There you go. So very, very low actually. 200 IQ. We smart. That's a genius move. That is like some Columbo stuff. I like that.
Barley soda is essential non-alcoholic
beer. Yeah, but still.
Well, apparently it has enough.
Still, no? I mean, you say essentially. Like, the reason I'm going into this is, when we went to Denmark, one of the things I wanted to buy, and I did buy, is, I don't speak Danish, so I'll butcher that, is hvidøl, which would translate to white beer. Basically, it's like malt beer, but with a low alcohol like part in it, like 2.5% or something like that. It basically tastes like malt beer, but there's a little bit of alcohol in it. And you can look that up. They used to give that stuff to children back in the day. So just because it's essentially non-alcoholic doesn't mean there isn't no alcohol in there. A skilled bluffer can go miles. Or it could just be absolutely no alcohol and they just... Does it taste like beer? I had a Wittekirk from Belgium. Never had that. I hate all other beers. It needs to be really sweet for me to drink it. Your tax dollars will be put to good use and bring all your bikes back here. Quit complaining and tell me the goddamn license plate numbers, you pieces of shit. The three were hesitant to tell him the numbers. They were mumbling something along the lines of not remembering them since they just brought the bikes. Well, that's what I thought. Ha! Kuma-chan, go with the truck and bring the bikes back. Get the tough-looking red Yamaha and the one with a broken right taillight, and the white one that had the packing tape stuck to the seat. It's those ones. They belong to you, right? We didn't answer. Those must be the right ones.
I also doubt there would be a lot laying there.
It smells like beer to me. Yeah, I mean, that's abuse of power, but...
Oyashiro-san, the truck is here, so I'll get going.
Yes, please do. Wait, Kuma-chan, hold on, one more thing.
What's up?
Look up the numbers. You don't want to bring the wrong ones back. The three people's faces changed color. They made themselves very easy to understand. Let's take it easy here until you get your bikes back. There's more beer, you know. We have some snacks too. Want to watch TV? There's probably nothing on though.
No thanks, we're leaving. Don't want to hang here forever.
And suddenly there were 5 or 6 huge officers surrounding them. They clearly overpowering stairs and nailed them to the sofa.
What did we do? It's the beer.
Going on a trip by stealing motorcycles, huh? Students these days have too much time on their hands. How could he tell that they were stolen?
Experience.
I guess. Still kind of mean to just assume.
Could have also been a bluff.
Oh.
But with how they act.
Oh, so bluffing them into drinking barley, soda, tea, whatever, and then going like, oh, you smell like beer, and just assuming that they stole the motorbikes? That sounds like somebody who would also infiltrate the police force to take the heat off of Hinamizawa.
Sometimes you have experience. He's just before his pension. He had like, what, 1 year to go?
Something like that, yeah. Well, they didn't want to tell the plates. Yeah, I guess. Dirty cop tactic. Very dirty.
But it works.
The loading screen music is so good.
I'm just saying, it works.
Click. We finished the whole chapter today.
Yes, we did. But we also didn't start a new chapter, so...
Why can't you let me have the win?
Okay, fine. We totally finished the entire chapter.
Oh, Tifa. Oh, Tifa.
Oh.
Why do you have to be like that?
I am so glad it's Friday. That looked really weird.
I'm looking confused because I was checking for a raid to see if somebody is on, and I didn't realize Twitch updated the raid system, and suddenly I'm seeing things I've never seen before, and none of these people I know, but I can fix that. I was gonna call her on if she didn't. Why can't we just have nice things?
But we did finish a chapter.
Exactly, chapter
or
4.
Episode.
I
keep mixing episode. I keep mixing it up. We did finish a episode, so we're getting somewhere.
That is
nice
true.
And slowly.
So I'm sorry, but the other day I saw this TikTok and it lives rent-free in my head since then, and Tifa just made a sound that reminded me of this. See if you can find the link when you can post it on Discord. But basically, it's boys who were raised by their dad.
Oh,
and it's like this guy dressing all snazzy going out or something. And then it just like swaps over to boys who were raised by a fly. And it's this guy going like...
It's so random.
Every time I see it, I just laugh. mechanically for like 3 minutes straight. And like whenever somebody just like casually rubs their hands together, I'm immediately like my mind just auto-completes to the. And when you just rubbed your hands together, I couldn't not see that happening. Please stop doing that, you're triggering.
Oh, I'll post a video, I know which one it is. I can still find that.
Where do you think Watanagashi hen will go from here, Jack? I have no idea. I absolutely have no idea.
Towards aliens.
I guess. Laughing mechanically. Yeah, like, it's not the funniest thing in the world, but it triggers some, like, super primitive part of my brain. I just go, something like that.
Some things you just can't explain why they're funny.
Yeah.
You just see it, it's so random. It's just funny.
Like, I would have never thought of that as, like, a setup for a joke or a skit or something, but seeing it, it just, like, it forces me to laugh.
I can definitely still find that.
But I have no idea where this is going. I'm guessing it's just filling in blanks for chapter 1, and then chapter 3 and 4 will be something like that as well. And I'll be so mad because maybe I'm misremembering things. Maybe they're playing me for a fool on purpose. Because why is Keiichi not remembering certain things? Why is he reacting a certain way to other things?
Because it's not on the same timeline.
Makes no sense.
You're trying to fit it in somewhere like a puzzle piece. I don't think it will.
Yeah, well.
But maybe we will get a few more answers on Sunday, which I doubt, because that's when we will be back. Oh, they really changed the entire overview.
Yes.
And for now, we're gonna go say hi to Skinner, who's playing Destiny 2. I totally saw that.
Voxberry was an event in 1957, so Keiichi could... What? What? You're confused. I don't know what these... I don't know what these words mean.
I think you had a barley too much.
Or I did one too little. I don't know. If you cannot stick around for the raid, please check out Skinner whenever it's convenient for you. You know the drill. Click it. It's excellent.
I hope everyone has an awesome start into their weekend. Enjoy it, and we'll hopefully see you on Sunday again.
They changed all the things, and Tifa is saying things when it's not even the time to say these things yet, because
it totally is.
There's timers for things.
But fine, I'll start on
Maybe I still have wisdoms.
Oh my god. What is the wisdom?
I don't have any, I just wanted to tell you. Maybe I did. Can you read my mind?
Yes.
So, if you had to choose, Tifa and I were both reaching for the button to end the stream. Which one of us would you rather press the button? Choose your words carefully. How about we both press it together to completely subvert the expectations?
3, 2, 1.
Click! Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. If you can, please stick around for the raid. We'll be back on Sunday with episode 5, chapter 2, Watanagashi.
Thank you.